Philly.org. So we'll start with the box office over the weekend. Flight Risk got first place in the Northern American box office, and it's the thriller that stars Mark Wahlberg. It debuted at the top spot.
Directed by Mel Gibson.
With a haul of $12 million. Also, Mufasa, the Lion King, kept chugging along, taking second place, while grossing $8.7 million this weekend. The buddy comedy of One of Them Days grabbed third place with $8 million. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was fourth with $5.5 million, and Moana 2 rounded out the top five with $4.3 million. So Hugh Jackman took the stage this weekend at Radio City Music Hall for his residency show called Hugh Jackman Live from New York with Love. And to celebrate opening night, he was surprised by none other than Ryan Reynolds. Of course, they're besties. The Deadpool star was mic'd up in the crowd during a brief pause in the performance to show love to Jackman, but in his usual teasing way. Reynolds conducted a Q&A with the audience, asking questions. And Reynolds said, I wanted to actually just say this. I love this man. I care about this man. He is genuinely the best human being I know, and I have 4 children. He returned the love saying, Jackman did, saying, I love you, man. Thanks for coming, and thanks for asking for a free ticket, too. In the crowd was also Jackman's new flame, Sutton Foster, the Broadway megastar, showed her support in the opening night audience now that their relationship has gone public. So they're all
There's been a few PDA shots of them out and about.
Yeah, so they're in love.
All right.
Obviously. All right, the people have spoken, and they want Dave Franco to star as the infamous Luigi Mangione, who is on trial for the suspected murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. While there are no projects in the works, Franco revealed that he has been on the receiving end of countless texts from people saying that he needs to play Mangione. He said, not just friends. Anyone who has my phone number has reached out to me about it.
So I think you got to at least let the story play out first to some extent. But yeah, he's pretty close. We had he and his lovely wife, Allison Brie in the studio.
Yep. The Hollywood Reporter, in an interview, his wife, Allison, chimed in and said, everyone has made his likeness to Mangione has made his likeness to Mangione known to the 21 Jump Street actor. Franco laughed at the whole thing, saying, I've never received more texts in my life about anything, but clarified he hasn't been approached with any official offers. Mangione has been charged with the December 4th, 2024 murder of Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. So, I mean, clearly they're going to eventually do something about this story because it was, so sensational and bizarre and tragic. And but, yeah, they're saying that he would be the obvious pick because there is definitely a likeness there.
And he's a really good actor. I was watching the Disaster Artist, which is the story of the making of The Room. Mm-hmm. He's terrific in it.
Brett Harrelson, Woody Harrelson's brother, hinted at the possibility that Woody and Matthew McConaughey might be half-brothers. Speaking with TMZ, he joked that he might have to start pinching hairs to find out. He claims that McConaughey is hesitant to take a DNA test, but Woody has been trying to convince him. Brett also seemingly hinted that their dad and Matthew's mom had a fling that lines up with around the time McConaughey was born.
So isn't Woody Harrelson's father a convicted murderer?
A murderer. I remember there being something legal in there, Steve. But
he assassinated a federal judge.
Whoa!
What the hell?
Yeah, he died. Woody's dad died a few years ago. His name was Charles Harrelson. But Steve, you're dead on. He was convicted of assassinating federal judge John H. Wood, the first federal judge to be assassinated in the 20th century.
When was that, Nick?
Man, I'm not sure.
When that crime took place. Wow.
The 80s?
McConaughey has previously shared that his mom was friendly with Woody's dad. And to really drive it all home, McConaughey and Woody are apparently set to co-star in a comedic series called Brother from Another Mother.
So he murdered several people, actually. So he murdered this guy named Alan Harry Berg. That was in 1968. Then he murdered a guy named Sam DeGelia, I'm not quite sure. That was also in 1968. There was a murder for hire killing, and then the murder of the judge was in 1978.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, that's messed up. Well, I would... Maybe.
Yeah.
You never know.
Possible.
I'd be the same dad.
Holy crap, man. There's even allegations of his involvement in the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
What?
Yeah. All right, well, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, let's circle back.
Yeah.
And we'll check on that later on.
I want to do a podcast with his family and your dad.
Yeah, no kidding.
Stories.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's another story. Not about murder, but Pax Jolie Pitt, son of Angelina and Brad, wrecked his e-bike over the weekend.
Isn't that the second time?
But this is 6 months after putting himself in the hospital by wrecking his e-bike before. Yes. He is not unlucky. The teen was just seen prior to the latest accident showing off riding with no hands. He eventually ran smack into a parked car, denting its side.
I meant to do that.
Yeah. While his 2024 accident landed him in the ER, he seemed okay after this particular incident.
How old is this kid?
You know what? I don't know, Case.
I think he's like 15.
Okay.
I was wondering that, too.
Because I was thinking this, I was driving along last week, and I'm like, there's just kids on motorcycles right now. Like, there's kids legit riding motorcycles.
You mean with the e-bikes?
On sidewalks.
Yeah.
Well, and those things, by the way, you guys both have, with us, at least the scooters and your electric bikes. They get away from people who don't know what to anticipate.
Oh yeah, they definitely. If you're not ready, or if you have one little thing go wrong, it's like driving a car or something like that. It can change real quick on you. Olivia Wilde was seen catching a Lakers game with actor and former pro hoop player Dane DeLegero Thursday night. Or is it DeLegro? I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. And it cranked up the rumor mill. Wilde's last public relationship was with Harry Styles, after which they split in late 2022. She also shares 2 kids with Jason Sudeikis and was married to Italian Prince Tao Ruspoli from 2003-2011. No official comment from either party as of yet. Yes. All right. If this is a way to find out if you're a bad housekeeper or if you're Tori Spelling, it is, because when you come back home after evacuating from the wildfire fires, open the front door and think that your house was looted, but it actually wasn't. On her podcast on Friday, Tori told how she returned home after getting the all clear and seeing the home's interior trash. That I walked through the front door and she's like, I'm not an alarmist, but I walk in and gasped. And I thought while we were gone out of town, evacuated, someone has broken into the home and has burglarized our home. There have been looters here. And she looked at the state of the house and she said, as she soon realized it wasn't the case, she said, oh no, that's just the way I live. And she thought, God, I have so much stuff. So she was at first walked in and there was so much clutter.
Oh my God.
She thought they had been looted. And then she realized, wait, no, that's just how I keep things around here. Jennifer Lopez is reportedly looking at a new home. And it's interestingly not far from where Ben Affleck lives.
Come on.
Yeah. TMZ reports the singer-actress is allegedly eyeing a $20 million mansion in the Brentwood neighborhood, one that is right on the border of Brentwood and the neighboring town of Pacific Palisades.
So he could literally meet his old lover at the grocery store.
Yeah. This puts her potentially new home very close to where Affleck purchased his new place after the couple parted ways. Speaking of $20 million... This got weird, didn't it? Speaking of $20 million mansions, yesterday, my wife and I, we were in Florida visiting family, and we drove by Ryan Howard's old house.
Oh, yeah.
In Clearwater.
Yeah, south of Sandkey.
Dear God.
Yeah.
I had not seen that in person.
Oh, really?
I've seen pictures of it, but I had not driven by that in person. We drove by, we saw the house, and we're like, who's... Like there's already tons of big houses, but you drive by that one and it really stands out as colossal. And we're like, what? And we saw the address. She wrote down the address. She pulled it up online, started searching, and sure enough, it's like former professional baseball player Ryan Howard.
Yeah,
Is that a $20 million?
Yeah,
John.
Yep.
So stop and think about.
I think it sold for $26 million or something.
It's
like
right
that.
on the water.
Right on the water.
It's beautiful.
So remember what they both had purchased together, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, was $80 million.
Yeah. Yep. And this was this was an eye opener.
It's an amazing house.
I want to know who bought it.
Yeah, I don't
Who
know.
owns it now?
Yeah, I think she had told me, but it was a name I wasn't familiar with. So, all right. So moving on, the Scary Movie franchise officially has its comeback date. Marlon Wayans announced on Instagram that the new flick will drop on June 12th, 2026, calling it a scary date. And he's teaming up with his brothers Sean and Keenan Ivory again for after they wrote the first and second Scary Movie films. Sean co-starred, Keenan directed those. The trio will be writing and producing the upcoming horror comedy, while a director and cast have not yet been announced.
Yeah.
Simulcast in Russian.
No.
I'll
Actually, I'm Carol Channing.
It's going to be fun. It's scary. They lost I think it was Miramax or was some movie company sort of wrestled the movies away from them.
Okay.
And then the third, fourth, and I don't know how many more. And now they got it back.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, I love the way it's
gonna be great. You're so talented. Yeah.
The original Scary Movie
I don't know. He's going to be more scary.
starring Anna Faris and Regina Hall smashed records
Is she going to be back?
in 2000 with a $42 million opening weekend.
Her house was destroyed in the Palisades fire. Anna Faris.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, so new numbers for the trailer for upcoming horror flick The Monkey may bode well for the indie
Is it
film.
an actual monkey?
It's a toy monkey.
Oh.
The trailer for the movie, based on a Stephen King short story, set 2 records shortly after its release. I watched it. It's pretty awesome.
Have you read this?
I did. Yes, it's a good story.
It's a toy monkey.
but it didn't like some of these King's short stories. It wasn't one that stood out to me as like, oh my god, that one was amazing. It was good.
Sometimes these King stories can really be realized. What was the perfect pupil, a perfect student?
Apt Pupil.
Apt Pupil.
That's a good one.
That is a good movie.
And it's a good short story too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Shawshank Redemption is a short story. The Body is a short story, which ended up becoming Stand By Me.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it scored more than 43 million views in its first 24 hours, passing 100 million views in the first 72 hours, both arguably new highs for an independent horror film. The Monkey hits theaters February 21st. Steve, I think it's the same people who did Long Legs.
Yes, I saw that, and I enjoyed Long Legs. So it's Long Legs is very Silence of the Lambs-esque. So think of the Silence of the Lambs replaced by a toy monkey.
Okay, well, maybe that's what this is. Yeah. Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic, has reportedly run into a major issue.
I've got a monkey too.
The film apparently needs a major overhaul. Lawyers have reportedly realized that a clause in a settlement that Michael made with someone who accused him of sexual abuse years ago will require that the movie undergo a rewrite and reshoot.
They have to include that information, correct?
What's
Is that
that?
part of the deal of what this settlement, the case with this kid?
No. They have to leave this kid completely out.
Is that the case?
So
All
the
right.
artist was previously accused of sexually abusing 13-year-old Jordan Chandler in 1993 and settled for $25 million. But they also agreed that the Chandlers could never be mentioned or dramatized in a movie.
That's it. Okay.
Sources, however, said that the Michael biopic made issues surrounding Chandler's a backbone of the movie,
Will they still be doo-doo and feces?
leading to reshoots being needed. And a source also told people that the Michael pick actually is not in chaos. The film is moving forward and reshoots are happening in March. So it might be hearsay. I don't know, but I could see something like that happening.
Take that stuff out and just replace it with Groot.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Well, we know it's a
talking tree.
we know it's a hit.
Yeah.
It's a talking tree.
It's a talking tree. It's crazy. You got into acting because you wanted to branch out?
Or he wanted to put his roots down in Hollywood.
down in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, I got 1 million of them. I told you to leave.
All right. Apple CEO Tim Cook stars in a new promotional clip for season 2 of Severance. The CEO of Apple, the company behind the Apple TV streaming service where fans can watch Severance, visits the severed floor of Lumen Industries. Cook gets severed and then walks the White Halls to meet Mr. Milchick to watch an instructional video. Milchick calls Cook the core of Apple before having him take a seat. New episodes of Severance air on Apple TV on Friday.
He was in the parking lot. I saw him peel out. Apples.
Carey Mulligan has spilled the beans at Sundance about starting work on season 2 of Netflix's hit series Beef. The Emmy-winning first season starred Stephen Ewan and Ali Wong as two people involved in a road rage incident that spirals into a full-on war with each other. But the new season features a whole new cast and story. So it kind of sounds like True Detective, maybe?
It sort of sounds like that,
Yeah.
An anthology series?
The promising young woman actress leads the new lineup alongside her former Inside Llewellyn Davis co-star Oscar Isaac.
Fish.
As well as Charles Melton, known for his breakout role in May, December, and Kaylee Spaney, who starred in Priscilla. And Mulligan told Variety, we just started, and she praised the show creator Lee Sung-jin for being brilliant with a fresh storyline. And she joked, if I say anything else a laser beam will appear on my forehead. But it's very exciting. The first season of the dark comedy was a huge success, and it took in 8 Emmys and 3 Golden Globe Awards.
I wanted to watch that. I watched the first episode and kind of detached.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to set that aside and maybe get into that one, too. All right, and then one last story, and then we'll get to the clips. The trailer for Suits L.A. is pulling back the curtain just a little more on the appearance of Suits' main character, Harvey Specter, in the spinoff series. Now, you watched that, Case.
Listen,
You
I
watched Suits.
made it to, I think, the end of or midway through the first season. I enjoyed it. It was fine, but...
It took off on Netflix because, and Nick, as you pointed out, the picture that would come up when you were browsing through was somebody, a sexy woman in
lingerie.
It was like in one episode, apparently.
It was the very beginning of the first episode.
Yeah, I think, that maybe grabbed people's attention, but people just kind of flocked to it, and it found a new life on Netflix several years after it was on regular television. My son really got into it. He watched it beginning to end, kind of binged the whole thing. And so, yeah, it's fascinating to me when shows like this exist, they get a middling audience, and then they take off years later.
While Gabriel Macht does
Yeah.
We haven't heard that in a while.
No.
Gabriel Macht.
Yeah.
Doesn't appear in the trailer himself. Stephen Amell's Ted Black is talking about Harvey Specter, with only characters saying he was, quote, the only person I knew cockier than you.
I feel bad for Stephen Amell having to look that way.
To which Amell / Ted Black responds, that's exactly why I liked him. The series premiere airs on February 23rd.
It looks like Patton Oswalt's in it as well.
Is he?
They just were running clips and it looks like he's one of the people in it.
Well, maybe that'll give a reason for us to reach out to him and get him on the show again, because he really enjoyed being on our program last time. All right, and then we have clips to play. So NCIS Origins focuses on the earlier life of the special agent Leroy Gibbs, and in this clip, Austin Stoll explains why he believes that he should play the character different than Mark Harmon.
If I played it safe, I think it would be doing an injustice to the character and to the story. And so I'm learning where to bend the expectations of Gibbs and create a new version for the fans that are out there.
I don't think I want to see it.
All right, a new episode of NCIS Origins airs tonight on CBS. Here's our next clip. In Wish You Were Here, a lover uncovers a shocking secret that changes everything they know about the one. As this is her directorial debut, Julia Stiles describes her devotion to the story.
It's taken on a life of its own and is still something that's so moving and interesting to me. And I think you have to find that kind of longevity with whatever story you're looking for as a director, because you're going to be living with it for a long time.
I don't give a
And Wish You Were Here is in theaters now if you need to see that. And that is what I have in the entertainment report for you this morning. All right, we have a bunch of people that are going to be joining us today for chats about various things. We have musician and photographer Danny Clinch checking in the 8 o'clock hour, and he's a part of this Fire Aid benefit in Los Angeles. Huge, huge show. John Mayer is going to be performing with him, but there's like every celeb you can think of is going to be a part of this event. We also have Joe Manganiello, and he's going to be talking about Dead or No Deal Island. That's the way they said it to us, but it's Deal or No Deal Island, second season. And our buddy Jose Garces, celebrity chef, stopping by today, too. So got a lot to get to. We're feeling good. The win, come on, man. The city's about to explode. We'll be back in just a moment, so stay put with us.
Preston and Steve.
The Oscars were last night. How about all of that? So, yeah, they had a red carpet and the full deal. The documentary feature went to My Octopus Teacher. It's been mentioned several times on this show, so wanted to throw that in there. accepting was the octopus.
It's going to be a biologist incredible motion picture experience.
Wow, great.
And there was no wrap-up music.
No,
he just kept sucking and clicking and doing that whole thing for a long time. So,
Is that him walking up?
Suction cups, yeah.
that's him walking up to the podium. It was awkward, but listen,
Yeah.
I mean, he was the star of the film.
It is a hell of a movie if you get a chance to see
I do
it.
need- I-
Think
I
of a
really-
Nomad Land, but with sea creatures.
They really should have put the octopus in the in memoriam section. I don't know why they didn't.
Did he die?
Well, he's an octopus. I mean, the movie
long
came out
can
like
you
2
live?
years ago.
How long does your average octopus live?
I'll bet
The
they
length
live
of a documentary movie.
I'll bet they live longer than you think.
No,
And
they
I'll bet
don't.
who's
They live
out.
like a year.
They don't.
Watch,
Really?
Yeah, watch the movie.
Aw.
Wait,
You saw it too, Kathy?
Yeah,
I saw
it's
the movie
great.
and I don't remember that shocking piece of
That's
news.
sad.
What?
Poor thing.
All right,
well,
I'm
maybe
gonna
it was a
check
thing.
it out.
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5
All right,
years.
see, they're already getting
See?
longer lives.
See, he
One-
could still
1 year.
He could have accepted the award.
I wouldn't have wasted time with this dickhead then if I was an octopus. I got a little living to do, baby.
All right, Yolanda Hadid
I know Yolanda.
is in love with. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
In love with her daughter Gigi Hadid's daughter Kai.
So she loves her granddaughter?
She does.
Oh, my
Steve.
God.
I told
So
you.
who got the scoop on this
The
one?
news is big here this morning.
Wow.
Don't go to press yet.
Yeah.
I've got something.
She shared a tribute.
Yolanda Hadid, great-granddaughter.
She,
Do you have a source that can confirm this? I'm not going with this unless you have corroboration.
well, they heard from an octopus that actually.
In a parking garage.
Yeah.
The octopus was in the shadows, but
I have it on good authority that Yolanda Hadid loves her granddaughter.
Oh my God.
would you go on record with that?
You are people who don't want this information out.
Oh my God.
He's scared, man.
I'm very scared.
And then he just walked away. That's my new favorite thing. The octopus walking away in a cavernous room with lots of reverb so you can hear it.
I can see you're an octopus. Even in shadow.
He's got a trench coat on.
He doesn't even need a trench coat. He has got like this amazing camouflage.
Listen, he's running now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Casey, he just blends in with the floor.
It's amazing.
A dove formerly owned by Prince has passed away.
Yeah. Well, you know he was big into the doves when doves cry.
Of course. But I didn't know that he had, well, this particular dove was named Divinity.
Yeah.
Female white dove owned by Prince. She died on Tuesday following a recent decline in her health due to her age. She was 28 years old.
That is an exceptionally old dove.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a cat that lived to 22, and that seemed like an eternity for a pet lifespan.
Yes.
But listen, I know that some birds, like African grays and so on, can live for like 80 years.
Absolutely.
But I
They
didn't think
usually outlive their owners.
But I didn't think a dove had that kind of a shelf life, for lack of a better
I bathe
term.
in the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka. And
That must have been
what
what
I
did it.
attribute my longevity to.
Well, longevity for divinity.
Following Prince's death in 2016, Divinity remained at his Paisley Park and could be seen during the tours of his former estate.
Divinity conducted the tours.
According to the executive director of the Paisley Park tours, said Divinity's beautiful coo has welcomed visitors since Paisley Park first opened its gates to the public in October 2016. She was one of the enduring links to Prince for thousands of fans. She will be missed.
I would love to go to Paisley Park.
Me too.
I read there was a really really fascinating article. Prince started writing an autobiography, and he hired a writer to help him write it. And so a year or so before he died, the writing process began, and then the writer spent a lot of time in Paisley Park. And I've gained so much more of an appreciation for Prince after his death, which makes me feel guilty for some weird reason. But just everything that went into Paisley Park and his life is really amazing.
I was just watching a replay of yesterday of him at the Super Bowl when he did the halftime. It was awesome.
Yeah, and his version, along with Danny Harrison and Tom Petty of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony years ago, is just unbelievably great.
The outside of Paisley Park looks like a
school or a warehouse.
You would not.
Like
you would
that.
have no idea.
What I haven't seen are pictures of the inside.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's like a modern Graceland. Like it's Prince through and through.
Our old boss has been to parties there, Jim McGuinn, because he's a program director in Minneapolis, and that's where it is.
That's cool.
So I would love to
Elevator
go
inside and all the whole deal.
So in addition to Divinity, Prince also owned a dove named Majesty, which, according to reports, were quiet. Both of them were quiet in the immediate days following his death, but they perked up after hearing his music.
I don't want to talk.
And a new generation of doves will continue to live on.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry. I'm gonna throw up.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds
When
like.
doves cry.
Yeah, they were upset about Prince's death.
I swear to God, I'm gonna throw up.
Oh my God! Hey, are doves the same things as pigeons?
No.
No?
They're related.
They are related.
Yeah, they're in the same bird family.
That's what I mean.
If you look at their license, there's a delineation.
Okay.
My dad and I used to go dove hunting regularly. We used to blast those things out of the sky.
Dude, I mean, come on.
We'd eat them.
I know, but still, it's like puppy hunting. You know? It's so nice and cute and peaceful.
They're different than the ones that you see. They're the gray colored
They kill
ones.
families.
Okay.
Yes.
They are all tatted
He was
up.
doing service to the families of Kentucky.
They are literally the symbol for peace, however.
Yes.
I was completely eaten by a dove today. Anyone kill them for us.
Son, we got work to do.
We beat it to death with an olive branch.
I have a hair change story that
That's a cool sound effect.
After splitting from her fiance, Dale Moss, Bachelorette alum Claire Crawley is ready for love and a new pink hairdo.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I saw it.
Yeah?
I've not seen it.
It's not over the top.
It's not crazy hot
It's
pink.
light. She says she wanted to show that she could do something crazy.
Okay.
As we observed, everything she's done shows she can do something crazy.
Oh, you're right. It's a nice pink. It's like an ombre.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She didn't go. I was thinking like shocking. Like Katy Perry when she had super pink hair. Anyway.
Getting the tattoo of Florida on her forehead.
Did you see that guy?
I did.
Yes. He's got a tattoo of the state right on his forehead.
Ridiculous.
All righty, buddy. Source tells us she sees her time spent with Dale as something of her past and is ready to move forward.
Can help me to learn about myself.
So she has pink hair now.
Okay, the ombre's good. I kind of prefer the Ganon, bro.
What's the Ganon?
Come on.
Ganon, bro.
Keep going. Do it. Finish it.
I'm not finishing
Come on.
It's Ganon, bro. I like the up dog. Personally.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Here's the tattoo of the Florida, by the way.
That looks good.
I
Man,
love it.
what is going on?
I know. We have a monitor that's normally in front of us. It doesn't work, and I can't see the photos when they come up. But yes, that's just brilliant. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama went to Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. And overall best motion picture drama went to Nomadland. So there you go. That's our first foray into a very strange awards year.
It was. You know what was one of the weirder things, Preston? At certain points when they were going into a commercial and they had the nominees, they'd put the nominees up and they'd bring up their microphones so that they could sort of like talk and like. And there was, did you see Case? I don't know, because there was a point where Pacino was up for something and they were all, hi, Mr. Pacino, I'm a big fan of yours. And there's this cross talk that's No one was overseeing it. It was just like you were listening in on a Zoom call.
Wait, so the crosstalk was between the fellow nominees?
Yes.
Yeah.
leading
Okay.
into- so they did that a couple times. If they ever do this again, they should not do that again.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
It's very weird. And I'm
Yeah.
like, is something supposed to be happening?
What was great though is when Soul won for best, I think it was best animated. Who do you call it? Tracy Morgan pronounced it as Saul, right? He goes, and the winner is, and he goes Saul. And then there was no reaction because there was no movie called Saw.
Right.
And then he realized that he had made the mistake. And then they had cut to the it was for best original song. But either way, the actors, it was Sudeikis, it was the people that were up for the next award.
Right.
They were having a ball with it. They were cracking up. Don Cheadle was making fun of them, and it was really, really.
I think Pacino didn't realize that he was still on the Zoom call because he was standing in the doorway pleasuring himself.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh no, you
How
don't do
awkward
that.
is
It feels so good.
Right.
Well, I didn't see that clip, but I did see. I saw a clip.
I'm gonna shout!
Oh my God!
Splat.
All over my walls and when my children play with their toys. You were expecting something like that. There were a few people who clearly were not quite up to speed on the tech.
I'm gonna shoot over here.
That was good.
Oh man!
Right after that.
Yes. Sorry, Nick.
No. This is also comedic. He fell asleep.
What?
Did he? Was he asleep on camera, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, don't you usually fall asleep right afterwards?
Everybody's sleepy, and you've expanded yourself.
93.3 WMMR.
Oh, hit it, fellas! Yeah. Oh my God! Can you believe? Here we go. So last night, we were looking at the videos of all the activity on Broad Street, and out of hand, insane, fantastic, in a great way, and very little in the way of major damage took place. We're saving it up.
Yes, absolutely. Like a coiled spring.
Oh, my God.
I'll say this, and it made me appreciate the fact how lucky we are that the color is green, because it really plays nicely when illuminated all over the city.
So, Case, you were there.
I was there.
Yeah.
Marissa was there.
Yeah. What time did you get down?
We got down there, probably like close to 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And, I went with my brother, my nephew, and so both their names are Dave, and then my friend Steve, and we made smash burgers. Like it was, we've been doing it right for as far as the tailgates are concerned. We stepped up our game, but where we park and tailgate, we do it at FDR Park, and it's kind of chill. It's nice.
Yeah.
And then you go through the gauntlet, which is the H lot. And
What was that looking like?
It's mayhem.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the evolution of the tailgate over the last, I would say, 20 years is pretty insane.
It even amazes you. So, as someone who's sort of an observer from the outside, conveyed on the coverage of the tailgating as things were kind of winding up for the game, I was like, dear mother of God.
Yeah.
How do you transport all that crap down there?
Well, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
You let other people do all that, and you just show up.
Well, Steve, did you guys see the guy who was roasting a pig in a shopping cart?
Yes.
Okay, he got on the subway. My friend saw him on the subway. He got on the subway with the shopping cart and the pig the shopping cart.
Oh my God.
And they were like, I can't believe they let him do that. And one of the other guys was like, they let homeless people on with their shopping carts. Why can't this guy bring his pig?
All right.
So he roasted a pig and was selling sandwiches.
Yeah, I saw him in the parking lot, Kathy, and just on like crossing Broad or whatever. The shopping cart was on fire.
Yeah.
He was roasting it.
Okay.
So he put he lit a fire underneath that
it.
and just let it burn for however many hours it takes to cook that thing.
Yeah, Preston, here's the video of him just walking around the tailgate with a pig and a shopping cart and a fire.
That's insane.
Yeah. And he kept his beverages underneath the fire, which I think is smart.
You would still catch some heat from that. I mean, it's cool enough out, but at that point, a warm beer works just fine. Just fine.
It's amazing. And I'm sure they just, it's the game. So,
Seriously.
We'll let this one go.
It's an animal on fire in a shopping cart.
God,
That's ridiculous.
Casey, 2 weeks in a row, my son went down just for the tailgate. He went last week because of the snow, and he and his buddy, they took the train into the city and then the subway down to South Philly. And yesterday, I was like, "You going to go again, Ben?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to miss this." And he didn't have tickets. He just wanted to go down and be a part of the vibe and hang out. And I get it. Like it was just a party in South Philadelphia. Beginning to end, and then everybody spills out and works their way up Broad Street, and the party continues.
Nick, I actually can't believe how many. I was just having a conversation with some people about how many high school kids go down there. To I guess tailgate.
What, the tailgate?
Do you think it's on? So somebody was proposing this notion. excuse me. About so generationally, sometimes the bulk of the fandom starts to shift to a demo. Now, obviously, they reign supreme in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But they were commenting on to what you just said.
Yeah.
That rabid fandom has shifted a little bit younger. And it's kind of an interesting thing.
And when I was in high school, and Casey, I think this happened for you as well. Like we would go to the Mann Music Center every summer because you had freedom.
Yeah.
It was just a place to go and hang out. And if you wanted to drink, you could. And I think, Steve, when Ben was on the train last weekend and the train yesterday, he said it was packed with high school students, a lot of people from Malvern Prep and Haverford, and
That's wild.
And it's but it's a party with a great vibe, celebrating the Eagles. But you don't even have to be in the game. Like the game is almost secondary.
You're also probably not going to get arrested. You know, you're not going to get chased by the cops.
Like you can walk around with a pig on fire in a shopping cart.
Right. Yeah, they're not worried about
They probably turn away.
Yeah, even the fire marshal came by. I was like, "Hey, some of that. Give me some of that."
Hey, about a pork chop sandwich here.
Wow, man.
Oh, my God.
Well, listen, and speaking of the game specifically, and I didn't get to see it because I was flying yesterday. I saw just a little portion of it at the airport, but I'll explain some more about that in a little bit. But, I mean, I don't use this word very often, but that was just a skunk. They absolutely
a shellacking
skunked the Commanders.
I was laughing out loud, and I don't know why. You're leading into the game, you're like, okay, Jaden Daniels is a decent quarterback. You never know. Blah blah blah. Like those guys, the Commanders had no business being in that building yesterday, and it became so apparent on the very first offensive play when Saquon Barkley runs 60 yards. The first play, not the first play of the game because the Commanders had the ball first, but like I was cracking up, and then I laughed even harder when we dropped 50 points. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, what the hell was I even worried about?
The most since the 70s.
What was I even worried about?
Why was I worried?
Case, I agree with you. I was laughing because the pregame, I had the pregame on. It was like the Eagles weren't even playing. They were focusing on
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels so much. I'm like, who's playing today?
Yeah, like all these ESPN analysts had the Commanders winning and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, the spread is 6 points. I mean, it's not like, I don't know, man.
Were you that way? So, I mean, obviously, you've been approaching this with cautious optimism, and you even have been sort of vilified for taking that approach because nothing is in the bag.
Well, listen, and so Pierre was asking me about the game on Friday, and I said, listen, we should win this game. We are the superior team. We are the best team in the league right now, despite, I don't care what records say, like our team is the best team, but we lost to the Commanders the last time we played them because Jalen Hurts was out. Sauce Gardner got ejected from the game. Devontae Smith, dropped a pass. That I'm like, so that is football. That is football. That's what happens.
Right.
So that's why I'm like always cautious going into a game. And I don't like being cocky because I don't know. It just doesn't smell right on me.
To me, it invites bad luck.
And then that's also the aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then Saquon gets the ball first play and he takes off 60 yards. I'm like, oh my God, we have the best team in the league.
Casey, I meant to ask, so the last two games prior, you had an individual fall on top of you while you were at the game. Did this tradition continue?
It did not.
No. I thought it might have been part of the superstition.
I was worried when nobody was falling on me. I was like, oh, great, Commander's going to win.
Listen, if I give you $20, would you fall on me?
Oh, you know what, Casey? We did this in years past where people had asked you questions about superstitions, and you give them your valued information, your actual expertise
I'm trying to get
in
away
offering
from
up
that,
advice.
but
you are not trying to get away from
No,
it.
no, no,
I don't
no,
mind
no, no.
advising.
Are you kidding me?
You cannot do that because that consult is going to become very critical as we, you know, in
I'm
2
saying
weeks.
I'm trying to get away from it, but meanwhile, everything I wore yesterday was worn in the previous 2 games.
All right.
You know.
So first question, does Preston have to be on a plane again in 2 weeks?
No, because he wasn't on a plane for the game before.
Right.
Yeah,
That's okay.
it's
That's
gotta
not part
be,
of it.
There has to be a pattern.
Right,
okay.
and there's no pattern.
Or you have to recognize a pattern.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's
hang
off
on.
to Florida again.
Joe has a question for you, Casey. Hi, Joe. Good morning.
I'm such an idiot when it comes to this. I'm just like you, Casey. I have to do everything like I did the week before. I got out, same food, same clothes, same everything. But here's my question. When the Eagles lost to the Bucs, I took off my Eagles jersey, threw it in the wash, put on my high school football shirt. Got one. They won on that pair. 10 wins. They lost. I washed it. Now, I wore it the last 2 games. They won. My question is Super Bowl Sunday, what do I do? Because the shirt is red.
What does he do for Super Bowl Sunday?
Listen, man, just keep it as far away from the washing machine as you possibly can. All right. It's just a couple of weeks.
You
right?
don't want it to get accidentally washed.
Right. Right. Like if you need to hide it, from somebody who might actually wash it, then do that. But by all means, do not wash that shirt.
But I can. It's okay to wear it because it's red and the Chiefs are red. I'm torn. I don't know what to do.
That's okay. So
what
that's
trumps
a good
what here?
question.
And the shirt.
I mean, listen, the Bills have red too, so.
But the color thing doesn't always work the same way for everybody.
Yeah.
Like you, because Marissa wears the opposite team's color in her underwear.
Yeah, and listen, last week I wore, I had a snowsuit on that had yellow and blue in it, and we were playing the Rams. So I don't know, man.
Joe, can you get a hold of a shopping cart and a pig?
We're gonna have to, Joe, I'm gonna have to think about this for about a week or so. All right.
All right, Joe.
I will call you back.
Yeah, check back in a week. 1 week from today. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, man. Oh my God. Well, listen, I'll tell you guys a little bit of story of. I thought for sure that I would be like, very few people would be on my plane coming back from Tampa that were Eagles fans because they would have known better. They would have changed their plans. They wouldn't have flown. Whatever it was they were going to do, they were going to change. But no, the plane was packed with Eagles fans. And so I could clearly see that when I arrived at the airport and got into my gate area. You could see the jerseys and everybody wearing green.
What time was your flight?
It left at 5:30.
Okay, all right.
So we got to the airport, around 3:30, something like that.
Okay.
And so we hung out. I had to do some work, so I'm working on some paperwork, and the game is on in the background. I'm keeping an eye on it. And then the first half ended, and then we were going to get on our plane, and so I'm walking to get on the aircraft. And by the way, about an hour beforehand, I ate a gummy.
Oh, all right.
As I'm flying. And so I'm
Seahorse party.
I'm walking onto the plane, and I see a couple of guys in different seats in first class recognize me, and they're, hey, dude, what's up? And they're give me a little fist bump and everything like that. And then I get a little further down, and some ladies are in seats on my left, and before I'm putting my bags up, they're like, I just want to tell you I love your show so much.
Oh, that's so cool.
They're just getting love left and right.
Awesome.
As I'm walking through the plane. Now, Rochelle and I were in 2 different boarding zones. I was in 6, she was in 8, so I went in ahead of time, and they kept making these announcements over and over of, it's a full flight. We need people to volunteer to check their bags who are carrying on, or else we're not going to have space. This is going to be mandatory. They kept repeating it over and over and over again. So we're like, man, you're going to have to check one of our bags. So I get in, I sit at my window seat, and I'm waiting to catch her as all these people are rifling through down the aisle. And I keep noticing one bag spot open above the seats ahead of us.
Right.
So I'm keeping an eye on that. And as soon as I see Rochelle, I'm going to go point to it and go, hey, you can put your bag right there.
Right.
So she comes walking in just past first class, and I think she's looking at me, but she wasn't. And so I'm looking and I'm smiling and I'm going, there's a spot over there. And I'm pointing like this.
Overhead.
Well, she didn't see me, but the girl behind her did. And I guess she thought I was kind of gesturing to her.
Oh, my God.
And the girl looks at me and she makes eye contact and she goes, oh, my God. oh my God, Preston.
Stop it.
And I'm like, hey, hi. Hey, oh my God, hey, how you doing?
Can you tell my wife about the
And so now,
So what did you look like to her? You look like you're.
so the girl takes over and she's like, I love you guys so much. And she's speaking, like she's talking really loud. And then she looks at me, she's like, I don't care who's listening right now. I don't care what people are thinking right now. I love your show so much. You guys are incredible. And she's going on this like machine gun fire pace of how awesome the program
That's
is.
so sweet.
Blah, blah, blah. And she's going on, she's like, and I know Jackie Bam Bam. Well, I mean, I don't know Jackie Bam Bam, but Jackie Bam Bam knows who I am. So he knows mine and this and that. And so she's just going on, and I'm looking at other people around. Some people around me are going like, who the hell is she talking to? Who is this guy? And she starts taking pictures of me.
Oh, wow.
And
you go, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the Radio Hall of Fame.
Yeah, pardon me. So, clearly, listen,
What I'm trying to wrap my mind around is to her, it must have looked like you sticking your finger up going, yes, look, I'm here.
I know.
What you've been waiting for.
She probably wouldn't have noticed me had I not been gesturing, And so I go, all right, who should I tell Jackie Bam Bam I ran into? And she told me her name, and there was a lot going on, and I think it was Rihanna. I'm not 100% sure. Rihanna or Brianna, or a name similar to that. And she said, I told him a story about an F-150 or something along those lines. And she gets past me, and I hear her still going on as she's walking down the aisle behind us. But it was so sweet.
It's so nice. It's unbelievably generous and nice of people to do that.
And then the plane lands after a fairly uneventful ride. Although it was great because a lot of people were watching the game. They took the Wi-Fi on the plane.
Could you see the stadium as you were landing?
No, not from my side of the plane.
Man.
But we did fly by it.
That's cool.
And it was on the other. People were sitting on the other side of the aircraft, could see it.
Oh yeah,
but,
celebrity board today. Preston Steve show on WMMR.
But you could tell every time there was another touchdown because everybody started.
Woo! So you could hear it. How was it? Was it dominating or was it just a casual like?
No, it was you knew.
Oh, that is awesome.
You knew for sure. It wasn't everybody in the plane, but it was clear every time, and I was just like, wow, another one. Man, another one. I just kept hearing it over and over again.
6 of them.
And then the plane landed, and we're getting off, and we're walking off, and as I'm getting off, there's 2 more guys waiting for me as I step off, and I wish I would have gotten his name, but this guy was just like, oh my God, he's like, you guys are so important to me, and anytime there's a thing that's terrible in my life going on, you bring me around.
When you hear stuff like that,
it was just really sweet, and I took pictures with those guys. So
how honored do you feel when people say that people would you would allow us into your routine and ritual, and it means everything. But also, you had a particularly difficult weekend with a lot of stuff that was kind of crappy to have to handle.
It was
and
nice
that was a nice way to end it.
But the guy had said, he said, you do the best at bringing me around and make me feel better when I'm down. And his buddy goes, yeah, he recognized you. He didn't know what to say, and I told him to say exactly that. And I was like, okay. And I said, listen, that's what we're going for.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for telling me.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. So it was a nice way to wrap up the weekend.
I just want to tell you this quick story. It was out a couple of weeks ago, and I had a similar experience. This girl recognized me. She came over, and she was like, speechless, and she was like and I ended up talking to her. She was so nice, but when I walked away, I heard her friend go, why are you acting like that? You look like an idiot.
Sounds like your son.
She was like, I don't care. I don't care.
But it was great, and there was so much positive energy on that flight, and it could have gone one way or the other.
Oh no, you're right.
It could have been bad if we landed and everybody was upset over a loss.
That is a very unique way to experience a pivotal game and to see all that reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, so for you, I mean, because listen. You were talking about it when you came in this morning, and he walks through the door press. I say, so how was it? And he's. I'm still processing. I don't know what to say.
Honestly, I don't have the words because I just. Here's the thing, I went to bare knuckle boxing on Saturday night.
Right.
What an event that was. And it's, by the way, there was a guy named Matt who I ran into. Matt, what's up? I told you I would say hi to you. That's all I remember is your name is Matt. But there are so many Philadelphia fighters that were fighting.
Right.
and they all lost. And I was like, man, like this is, and so now I'm psyching myself out,
right?
Getting into the game.
You're thinking this is a prelude,
right? Like every single Philadelphia fighter, I think, with the exception of like one or two, because there were a ton of fights. Yeah, I don't know. I was like nervous going into the game, and I shouldn't have been. I really, really shouldn't have been.
Well, you should listen. No, it's okay. I mean, it's not. You don't have to be 100% confident every time because literally anything can happen.
Yeah, and here's the other thing about the game yesterday, too, Case, is that like the first 7.5 minutes, Washington played really well. They drove down. They had the ball for a long time. Yeah. And so I wanted to get your sense on, like, because watching it on TV, it just seemed like some of the air was taken out of the building. It got a little bit quieter. Washington did a good job, like, driving down the field to kick the field goal or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles get the ball back, and then the very next play, they score a touchdown because of Saquon.
Yeah.
And obviously the place went nuts. But, like, for the first half of the first quarter, it's just like, all right, this team showed up. Washington showed up.
Yeah. Right. And then they didn't.
I think I was watching Rob McElhenney, X or tweet or whatever we refer to it these days.
Right.
And his Saquon, I mean, I think can you call up his last? I mean, he's I've never seen him so effusive about any, and he bleeds Philadelphia sports, but he's just completely wrapped up and enamored.
By the way, we're going to talk to him on Thursday. He's supposed to be joining us on the program.
And by the way, I am not driving to the Super Bowl. You talk about superstitions and stuff like that. We saw what happened the last time I drove to where the Birds were going to play.
We have plans, and we'll reveal them.
All right, we have a couple people with superstition questions, Casey. So we will direct those towards you. We're going to go to Courtney first. Hey, Courtney. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Hey, Courtney. You had a question for Casey.
So, my boyfriend has not been washing his jersey, and we were out at the bar last night, and he kept being like, man, I'm getting like whiffs of throw up. And I was like, I'm not really smelling throw up. I don't really smell it. And then like halfway through the game, I was like, someone smells like throw up. Well, it's his jersey.
Oh my God.
And now we can't wash it.
No, you can't. But just put it outside.
Just put it outside.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, we need to Febreze it or something and like let it air out. But he like kept being like, I'm smelling throw up. I'm like, I don't smell it. I don't smell it. Then I'm like, holy shit, it's you.
Holy crap.
Holy crap.
Yeah, Courtney, you're a champion. If you came up with Febreze, which is a great alternative, but that cannot go anywhere near water, that jersey.
So where are you gonna be for Super Bowl?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just, wear a sign or something like that around it that says, I haven't washed
smell
this.
like vomit.
Yeah, in 2 months.
I actually think it's okay. You can wash it.
No, don't listen to
Kathy.
All right, Courtney, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Actually, I don't believe in superstitions. I'm okay.
Well, you know what, though?
Let's tell him to wash it.
Here's how I feel about superstitions.
They work 100% of the time.
Half of the time. Is since there's a week off, you kind of can do whatever you want this week.
All right.
So I need to get my nails did, and I didn't prior to the NFC Championship game.
You're saying because of the additional time.
Yeah. If you're going to do anything.
Is that a tested theory?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I just said it. I feel like this is a bye week, so if you were to wash something, you got to do it before Sunday.
So things start anew on Monday, and if there's no game that weekend, you have until the following Monday. To begin your superstition.
It's always on a 7-day clock.
Okay.
And then also, this is what I also did.
I mean, the NFL measures things in weeks. So
that's right.
If you have the game DVR'd,
or on your TiVo
or whatever, if you watch something, just watch yesterday's game on DVR, and now this has been game tested. This is a theory that works.
I figured out my new game tested thing, which is I can jump in periodically.
All right.
And I jump in periodically, and I was recording it, and then I went back and watched. Because my thing, I've never watched straight through an Eagles victory.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's why we win the Super Bowl every year.
Every year.
I'm going to go to Samantha. Hi, Samantha. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good, Samantha. So you had a question?
So this is the same Samantha that was emancipated 18 months.
What is this? Okay. Yes.
You were emancipated 18 months?
Yeah, because she was the older sister, and then her, we were calling last week about your favorite child.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay, Samantha, go ahead.
So I'm a preschool teacher, and a big thing is we facilitate, like, communication, and I came into work the previous Super Bowl year, and one of my students was crying with the dad, and I was like, all right, let's talk this through. And I was like, why are you crying? He goes, well, Dad won't let me wear my cape. And I go, well, okay, did you ask Dad why you can't wear the cape? And I looked at Dad and goes, it's the Chiefs colors. And I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know how to facilitate this.
In
but,
a sane world, how do you explain that? But you know,
Exactly.
Right.
Like, I just look at both. I'm like, I hear what both of you are saying, and let's compromise. And then they lost. So now, no cape.
All right.
Oh,
That's
so
funny.
you're the reason why they lost the Super Bowl.
Yes,
Wow.
I allowed
man.
him to wear his cape.
All right. Thanks,
Don't make that
Samantha.
mistake, yeah.
Appreciate it. All right. I have Lindsay calling in as well. Lindsay, good morning.
Good morning, go Birds.
Go Birds. What's up?
So I actually tweeted at Casey about this onesie that my son wore.
Yeah.
So one, I'm not sure if it's going to fit. I have a picture. I will tweet at you guys. We got to make sure that it fits. But I have a question. So he goes to bed pretty early because he's 9 months old. Should we put him in the outfit to sleep in?
Yeah.
So I assume that okay. So are you going to have to tailor that onesie to make it fit right?
I don't know because it's one of those button outfits.
Yeah.
He's like busting out of it.
Could you make it like a whoopee or a blanket?
No, it's fine. If he's going to be asleep and he busts out of it, that's fine. And then, I guess, the game will be over at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. You can change him out of that after the Eagles win.
Okay, and I should definitely send that to to anybody for next season, right? If they win, because it's super lucky, and he definitely won't fit into it, so we can keep the luck.
The science says yes.
Yeah,
on
the
that.
science says yes. But also, should the Eagles win, you might want to hang on to that, for the rest of your life.
If somebody can get me a Eagle to sign it, I would put it in a shadow box and put it on his wall for him to remember for the rest of his life.
All right, Casey's going to text Jason Kelsey. He'll get back to him right away, and then we'll have Kelsey sign it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The whole team will sign
Yeah,
it.
no problem.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.
If you need advice, feel free to reach out to us. 215-263-WMMR is the number. Is this the picture that we're looking at, Casey?
Yeah,
she
this
sent
is
to
it.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And he is busting out, right?
Yeah. And the son was born with a green screen for a face.
Well, you can also tailor that into something else.
Sure.
Or you could just wrap it around his head or something along those lines. Tie it around there like a really goofy looking do-rag.
Right.
With the legs.
Something Brett Michaels would wear.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you turn it into a pillow, a stuffed animal.
Or even just a blankie, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I know. I'm all for like hand-me-down clothes and stuff, but this one's special. You got to hang on to
very
that one
special.
forever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go to Emily. Hi, Emily. You are on the air. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Go Birds.
Go Birds. What's up?
So I was actually in New Orleans this weekend for a bachelorette, and there was, I think, 13 of us, and all of us were Eagles fans except for the bride. She was a Commanders fan, and we were in the New Orleans airport yesterday. She was in her Commanders jersey, and all of us were in our Eagles jerseys, and the entire plane was trying to harp on her, but she was the bride, so... there was some camaraderie there, and they were all nice to the bride. We got on the plane. The pilot's saying "Go Birds." The flight attendants are saying "Go Birds," and at the end of the ride, when we landed in Philly, we all did the Eagles fight song together.
Oh, Emily, though,
It was such a good experience.
it sounds wonderful, but this means clearly that eventually that marriage will end in divorce because.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
actually, they're both Commanders fans.
There you go.
We saw him at the airport yesterday. We just said, my condolences. I'm so sorry.
But does it mean, Casey, they need to fly back to New Orleans next week and not necessarily go to the game, but just be in New Orleans?
No, they need to be at the airport in New Orleans.
At the airport. All right.
That's where they have to watch the Super Bowl now.
Get your tickets now, Emily.
We wanted to stay in New Orleans, but, unfortunately, we're back. So.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Did the right thing.
Kath, what'd you do for the game?
I
Shopping cart with pig.
I watched it from a hockey rink.
Oh, man.
No, we watched. So he had Jace had two games yesterday. First game, in between the first and the second game, we went to a restaurant, met friends. So we watched a little bit of it there, the beginning of it there. And then I tried to get it on my phone, and I couldn't get the damn game on my phone. It was so annoying. So I listened to it actually on the Fanatic until the streaming went down. Then it came back. But by that time, they were well ahead. So,
okay, you were
it was good.
comfortable.
So I watched the beginning of it and then listened to the second half.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I'd be like, Jason, you're not playing today.
Well, I made the mistake of last week when it snowed. He had a tournament in Allentown. I was like, buddy, you never missed a game ever yet. I was like,
oh, you set the precedent.
Well, no, I said it's snowing. I think we can skip it, whatever. Anyway, I convinced him last week. So then this week I was like, I mean, you don't have to. And he was like, Mom, I'm going. I was like, all right.
So he's more committed. Did you at any point consider breaking one of his fingers?
Wait, he is more committed. Yeah. I was saying, it's okay. We can skip it. We can skip. He was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, okay.
Perhaps you don't know about mommy and margaritas.
Don't worry, I got one in. Yeah.
By the way, Rochelle and I were coming back. We landed and we were driving home and we were like, did it snow again while we were gone? It didn't this weekend, did it?
No.
I think just being in Florida, we forgot about it.
You know what you forget, by the way?
Snow.
The snow you have basically an ice tree around you all the time. So, even still with the temperatures going up, and it was nice, it still has this...
But it was cold in Florida. It was flat out cold.
Did you see any snow there?
No, we weren't. Not quite. I guess where we were. We were a little further south Tampa, maybe a little further up north in the Panhandle. They might have gotten snow, but
I showed Kathy, my friend Mike Ormsby. He and his family live in Tallahassee. Mike grew up here in Philly, but his daughters had a snow day for the first time in their lives. So he took his two little girls out. He got a GoPro camera, and they had a sled day in Tallahassee. I was so excited. It was awesome. They had the day off.
Did you see the pic of the alligator in the snow?
No.
It had been sometimes they'll just sleep and float.
Yeah.
And it kind of got caught in the ice.
I did see a very funny snow video. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but it's someone in an Amish buggy doing donuts with the horse. It was, and the caption was like, 10 miles outside of King of Prussia, and this is what you get. They were in a parking lot doing donuts with the it is we've got it up on the video and it's on TikTok.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And he's got the horse walking around in circles.
It fell over.
I missed that part. It fell over.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Oh crap.
Oh, that's funny. All right.
You heard what he was screaming, right?
No.
Guess what I get to do?
Guess
what I get to do?
Guess what I got to do?
All right. Well, listen. All is wonderful right now.
Yeah,
Marissa, hang on. You wanted to say something. You haven't chimed in at all on this.
Well, did you guys see the drone show on Friday night?
I did. I saw
heard
the
about
picture
it.
that the video you posted.
Yeah, because I could see it from my apartment, so I was watching it, and it started with this huge Bud Light can, and then just poured over the art museum.
It looked really cool.
And then they had the Saquon jumping and the AJ Brown and Jalen kid and play back and forth. I mean, what they can do with drones now is so unbelievable. And
It's
there
incredible.
were thousands of people on Eakins Oval just watching us, and it was 7 minutes long.
And by the way, you do shows like that, and I mean, you can do them constantly. People talk about environmental impact of constantly detonating munitions, but I mean, there's it's astonishing the precision that they can pull off. We're amazed when we get them at the camp out.
Wait, and there's two more things. I have to say hi to the Eagles Brazil group, the guys who started Eagles Brazil Instagram.
Okay.
Flew in for the game yesterday.
No kidding.
I saw them at 4th and John. They literally bought tickets 3 days ahead. And plane tickets. They were like, screw it, we're going. They're working today. Because they're only was it an hour behind or ahead?
Yes.
When I was there, that's how we started the season.
That's
that was
right.
only a couple months ago.
It's crazy.
But Casey, did you notice during the game that they stopped shooting off fireworks during the touchdowns?
No.
So the last
They ran out.
Did they run out?
No. Well,
Sometimes they run out.
So I thought that they ran out, and then I turned to my friend and I said, I think they're saving them.
Maybe.
Because it was such a blowout. They're like, why waste them for the touchdowns?
Right.
And every time they would announce a player during the on-field ceremony, it was like, fireworks! Announce Nick Foles, fireworks! Jalen, fireworks!
Man, I think if the Eagles and the NFL couldn't get their hands on fireworks, for whatever the reason, though, let's hope that bodes well.
Well, there were plenty on Broad Street afterwards. I had to drop off the RV with some friends of mine in Fishtown, so I made it back to Pat's and Gino's area where they were staying, and I just walked. From Pat's and Gino's to City Hall. By the time I got to Locust Street, it was they had just closed off all of Broad Street.
Really?
So only till about 9 o'clock were people on Broad Street, and then all the trash trucks came in, all the police came in, and we're like, all right, everybody off Broad Street, we're done.
Wow.
Man.
It is amazing.
Yep.
Case, who's the the TikTok or YouTube woman who does the Delco accent.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Olivia?
I've seen a couple of them.
Olivia Herman, is that?
Is she the one?
The short blonde hair.
Yeah.
She was at Confession. She did a skit. She was at Confession. Just the end of it. She goes, and can we change it to in the name of the Father, the Saquon, and the Holy Ghost? I was like, that cracked me up.
That's
I
great.
forget, but she's really funny. I think that's her name.
We got a number of people that have superstition questions, but we do have to take a break.
Right.
Casey, Tyler says, wife painted nails red Saturday. The Eagles won. Should she keep them?
Wow.
Like I said, we got to revisit this.
Oh.
Just got a week off here.
Ian says his Jalen jersey isn't Super Bowl tested, but his McNabb jersey is. Which to wear?
Boy, wow, these are all right. Not Super Bowl tested. Well, I mean, but is it
Doesn't
game
have to be Super Bowl tested.
No, it just has to be game tested, right?
Yeah.
So you're good. If the Jalen Hurts jersey is game tested and they've won while wearing that jersey, you're good to go.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to take Rose's call because I can't see everything she wants to ask, and then we're going to take a break. Hi, Rose. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Rose, what's up?
I learned after the bye week that every time I am crocheting during an Eagles game and Jalen Hurts is the quarterback, then the Eagles win.
I guess you're going to be crocheting during the Super Bowl.
That was my question. Am I bringing my crochet bag and my crochet needles with me to the Super Bowl?
Are you going?
To a Super Bowl party.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well,
All right.
yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I was thinking maybe they'd be tough to get through security.
Yeah,
at the
bring
airport,
needles
but
in.
Yeah.
Can you crochet us something?
I would love to. I'll make you an Eagles scarf, Steve.
All right, thank you.
Nice.
When last night I picked up my crochet, I started to crochet something, and I looked over at my husband, and I said, oh, my God, this is red and gold. And he was like, drop it. Get that yarn out of here.
It's like a dog. Drop that! Smacking him on the nose. Hey!
You're welcome.
All right, well, good for you. You worked for the cause.
You did good.
Thank you, Rose.
Well done, Rose.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you later. All right. Well, it's a great day.
In general, you just feel good. Why can't we do this every year and win the Super Bowl?
feel good every year.
I think the city needs it.
The sun is shining. Everybody's in, a great spot right now. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back in a second. I do have some bizarre file stories. Then we have a bunch of guests that are joining us. We'll run down the list of those in just a little bit. So stay put. We'll be back in a moment.
Preston and Steve.
So the camera pans across his screen, and listen, his eyes are closed, and he looks like he might have not actually have been asleep, but he looked like he was sleepy.
There was so much fun pleasuring myself.
Oh no, the poor guy. Getting old.
I don't feel so good.
That's hilarious.
Rub one out.
So, according to a new survey presented by the Water Quality and Health Council, 51% of Americans reported using a swimming pool as a communal bathtub, using the pool as an alternative to showering or rinsing off after engaging in exercise, yard work, or whatever it may be. Even though 64% of Americans know that pool chemicals don't eliminate the need to shower, people continue to do it anyway. By the way, the survey comes as experts from the council, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and, which I didn't know existed, the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Oh, that's great. That's what Darth Vader faces off in the second movie.
Work to educate the public on healthy and safe swimming.
We shall crush the Pool Alliance.
Yes, my name is Mortimer Sanchez, and I'm with the Pool Alliance. And we think you're a bad leader.
The survey also revealed. I don't care. The survey also revealed that 24% of Americans would go into a pool within 1 hour of having diarrhea.
See, that's now listen. That's why public pools are just not my thing.
Spend all
However,
day on the toilet. You know what I need to do? I need to take a swim.
get some of that residual out.
To check the chlorine and pH levels for a personal public pool, the council is offering free pool test kits through its 15th annual Healthy Pools campaign on its website.
This is the Alliance.
This is the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Did you mention in this story, Preston, particular sunblocks affecting?
I didn't mention this.
Okay. Go into the pool now. Peter Cushing.
Moff Tarkin.
This is the finest pool you'll ever swim in.
What were you saying, Nick? Sunscreens?
Yeah, the reason that I bring it up is that I went on a snorkel, not a scuba,
Snookles
or a snorkel, but a snorkel.
It's the latest craze that's sweeping the beaches of America. Snookling.
Get some Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
Going
great.
outside, hanging tan, snookling all day long.
Surfing USA, please.
Oh, sorry.
I know what the snookle is, if I may suggest. Had the snookle.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Snookle USA.
Like California.
I'm such an idiot.
All right, anyhow.
Snorkeling.
Oh, yeah.
I went snorkeling, and you weren't allowed to wear.
Feel of a snookle at dawn.
You weren't allowed to wear the sunblock that you brought. You had to use the sunblock that they provided for you, and it's because the sunblock that most people wear is pretty damaging to the reef. And I was wondering if it would be damaging at all to like a pool filter or to the saltwater.
These are all good
treatment or
questions.
whatever,
Yeah, because some of the chemicals are pretty arch and can have that effect.
Yeah, and I've been snorkeling many times in my life, but this is the first time ever on a snorkel trip where I had to do this, and you weren't allowed to wear what you had, what you brought.
They provided.
They provided it
Do you
for you,
remember
yeah.
what it was? What type it was?
I don't. It was like an industrial vat of
It was
stuff.
called Reef Killer.
Yeah.
Reef Killer sunblock. A snookle, by the way, as you're snorkeling, has a second tube that goes up back onto the beach so that someone could load M&Ms into them so that you can eat.
You're hungry.
So that's what a snorkel
Right, a
is?
snookle is a second food tube.
Okay.
So that you can swim longer.
Everybody wins.
That's great.
They do have snuba.
Snuba.
Snuba is legit.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Snuba.
Apparently,
Yeah.
snookle is legit as well.
Are you kidding
it?
me?
No, I'm serious.
If you can swim, you can snookle. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Snookle offers shallow dives.
Approximately 10 to 40 feet without cumbersome tanks and no diving certification necessary. That looks like snuba.
It does.
So what
A hose,
what
right?
they do is, they have a floating tank that stays above the water, and you basically take the regulator down, and it's a long tube, a long hose that you can breathe in. We're getting ready to get recertified to go into a refresher course for scuba to get set for our vacation. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'll ask about snookle.
Yeah.
Zombie raccoons. That's my thing.
Yes.
That clumsily walk on two legs and show their teeth are staggering around suburban Chicago, and authorities are warning locals to hide their pets. A spike in raccoons testing positive for distemper in Riverside, Illinois, is to blame for the bizarre sightings of contaminated animals that the disease causes to appear zombie-like. While zombie raccoons don't eat brains, distemper is highly contagious. If you're feeding wildlife and that raccoon ate out of your bowl or cat food for your stray cats and your puppy goes over, the saliva can be contagious.
They sent in a Negan raccoon to take care of everything.
Well. Looks like we got ourselves a problem in Chi-Town. Leaning back high. Looks like we got some trouble. Some trouble in Chi-Town. Going deep dish on this bitch.
It's got a little leather jacket he wears. Yeah.
Leaning back, way far. Ooh, hey. In the home of Oprah.
There was an email that was sent out that we were going to have our studios checked because there may have been bed bugs brought into the area. And we've had everything checked out. They actually just brought a dog in to sniff. Yeah, I think it was Jack Russell is what it looked like.
Josie was her name.
Josie is the dog. And there's no bed bugs.
Well, no, that's not true. There were on a chair.
Was there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Or yeah, it was certainly
One
like
chair.
a warm zone or something.
A warm
like that
zone.
They call those.
That's
So-
what I call my
There's
chairs at
hot
home.
zone.
Yeah, my warm zone.
I think what everybody was worried about was an infestation, which I guess is not the case if it was just on the chair. I don't know.
Just on the chair. The rest of the place is apparently clean. Josie scoured our studio and nothing.
And I'm never coming back again.
You would have thought There was a radiation leak here.
Yeah. So I never told my wife that there was a bed bug.
She wouldn't have let you go to work.
No.
That was the first thing I told my wife, and I started laughing.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I'm surprised that's all we have. They're ripping the entire building apart, walls that haven't been opened up in years.
Yeah.
I imagine at night there must be a big vermin hoedown when we leave. Because you walk around, there's these caverns. Like a wall will disappear.
Yeah.
There's a big opening now.
Yeah.
You walk down one hall, it's 11 degrees, and then the next hall, it's 1,400 degrees. It's a whole new environment. It's like you're on some spaceship that's just, morphing all the time, and that's what this is here.
Well, I'm just glad that they alerted us to it.
Yeah.
Because during some of the construction, apparently they were removing asbestos, and nobody ever told us.
Well, that's when that wall went up down at the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
Because, and I almost walked into that wall. That's how quickly it went up. I started to turn down to go down to what I thought was Chuck's office down the hall that used to exist.
Like Looney Tunes.
And there was a wall.
So my wife will, when we go check into a hotel, it's always the same situation. We open the door, we shut the door, we leave our bags right at the door while she goes and strips all the beds and looks through all the furniture for bed bugs. She's like definitely
She's fanatical.
So before you guys even enter the room,
we have to leave our bags at the door. There's an inspection.
I really wanted to come in a hazmat suit or some sort of bubble, but I couldn't find anything.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going through our text chain, and I'm like, hey, by the way, this is going on. I'm not going to tell my wife. And then Kathy immediately goes from 0 to freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Get the F out of here. I'm not coming into work tomorrow. Who the F has bed bugs? Holy F, no, like 1,000 exclamation points. And then she says, do you know how hard it is to get rid of bed bugs? What's the company going to do about it? And when? And then Preston sends a GIF, of like a bed bug jug band.
Yeah, playing music. And then Kathy fires back, that's not funny.
It's not funny.
I think I said F you to anybody who's not taking this seriously.
And then I think Nick said, read Joe's email. And then Kathy says, F the email, F the bed bugs, and F whoever doesn't think this is a big deal. Where are we going to do our show tomorrow? Clearly, we can't go to the station, and we need an on-site location.
My house is
She was
clean.
ready.
My house is clean.
Yeah. You're ready to set up shop somewhere else. to do a live
100%.
broadcast.
If you guys would have said, yeah, we have to do the show somewhere else, I would offer it up my house.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
So it was one bug down the hall, right?
Yes!
Okay, I'm just asking.
Could you see Casey coming home? Diane wants to check him, so she takes out the blue light. Doesn't find any bed bugs. Just semen
Bathed in
stains.
semen, yeah.
All over my face.
We're good.
The woman was saying that they have dogs that can do all sorts of that check for bugs that actually will.
Wait a minute. I thought you meant that bed bugs use dogs to travel around.
Back up. Mush, mush.
For a ride.
I thought you meant as piggybacking.
You've never seen the bed bug Iditarod?
No.
It's good. Yeah.
It must be majestic.
It's compelling.
Yeah, good dog, good dog. Good dog. Yeah. I love being out here in the open range. Yeah.
Let's see here. As Godzilla vs. Kong, starring Millie Bobby Brown, performed much better than expected given the circumstances of COVID and so on, and the original movie King of the Monsters' lackluster box office performance. A threequel is expected with Adam Wingard set to direct again.
So he directed the most recent one,
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
So according to the Hollywood Reporter, the concept being floated is Son of Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong has crossed $400 million globally and is the top-grossing Hollywood-produced movie since the pandemic hit.
They're going to have to correct something now in both these, Son of Kong and Son of Godzilla. You gotta have a female Godzilla. Something. Mm-hmm. Who's he banging?
Yeah. Where
does this? Not unless they're asexual. They reproduce that way. I mean, there's only
it's Son of Kong,
right? But there's also Son of Godzilla.
Oh, is there Son of Godzilla?
Yes, I'm sure that's in the works as well.
So maybe he could reproduce asexually. I don't know. We don't know much about Godzilla. He's kind of a mystery, but definitely not Kong.
Well, Godzilla
definitely
could.
Not.
No, he's more.
Yeah.
He's a simian.
He's a mammal.
Why do we assume that Kong is a man? Wouldn't
we
see
know it? He's all man.
Well, I don't know.
Wouldn't he be Queen Kong?
Yeah, he'd be Queen Kong.
Okay, fair point. But I didn't see any low-hanging fruit, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left that out. In fact, can you on apes, or do they? I've never.
Is there junk external?
That's a good question.
Apparently, it's pretty small. I remember. We talked one point about animal genitalia.
Yeah, but even on Kong, it would be big enough.
You're right.
But it'd be the size of a
proportionally
VW, you know.
Yeah,
it'd be the size of me.
Be as tall as Steve.
I want to see King Dong. I want to see it.
There actually was a movie called King Dong.
Of course, there was.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a rom-com. Like he's romancing this lady, and that's about how they have the baby together.
Oh, the next Kong
the
movie?
next one, yeah.
4 weddings and a King Kong.
That could be. It could be something like that. We'll have to see. An inspiring story.
The giant ape walked into her life.
All right. So anyhow, we will see if that comes to pass or not. But
how big his junk is, and whether there's a Mrs. Kong.
Son of Kong. We'll have to see.
What a goddamn day today. Sit down. I'll make you some dinner. I'm fighting these things that are apparently prehistoric, and yet I've never seen them, and I'm on an island. You'd think I would want to cross. I don't even know why they evolved that way. They're like snake things with. Just give me a beer.
Yeah, just think about it tomorrow. Just,
you want to do a little grab ass?
Yeah. Khloe Kardashian.
Let's take this upstairs.
Kong! What are you doing?
Just a little finger stuff.
Oh my God.
There's no little finger stuff with you.
Oh, it's bigger than my penis.
No, it's perfect.
A lot of gorillas are like that.
It's okay, baby. It happens. No, not to me. It's those dumb lizard things that I met today.
You can't stop thinking about it.
I'm just distracted.
WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. Before we get into the bizarre file, we need your help, folks. We have a friend, a family member, a brother in arms here at WMMR that needs some assistance. Our close friend, Tim Graham, who's an account executive at WMMR, his wife went through a very bad medical emergency over the holidays. Tim has been staying by Gina's side, trying to help out, but there are some really, really costly medical bills that are adding up. Without going into the details, there's some rehabilitation that needs to be done, and they're finding out that they're having difficulty with insurance. Shocker, right?
Yes.
So there's a GoFundMe campaign that has been set up. It's on PrestonandSteve.com, and it says, MMR family, please support Tim and Gina Graham in their time of need. And Tim, I've known since before we even worked here at WMMR.
Tim's one of the main reasons we are here at MMR.
Yeah, he's a wonderful person. Gina is awesome. And we are asking you if you please could help out. If we have helped you out in some way, we would like you to possibly help us out in some way by donating whatever you can. A handful of bucks can go a big difference make a big difference if we have a bunch of people help out.
Exactly. You know, we don't try not to come to you with our hands extended for this stuff too often. In this case, Tim and Gina, they transcend this because there are two people who never ask for themselves, but are always first in line to give to others. So it just seems appropriate that we try to give them some assistance now.
So if you wouldn't mind, take a peek at this. It's at PrestonandSteve.com, and if you can spare a little bit, that would be wonderful. You can spare a lot, that's even better. But we want to help out our good friends Tim and Gina Graham, so we wanted to pass that along to you. So thank you if you can. All right, we have B-File stories to share. We're going to get them now.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Pro Team Collision. If you find yourself in an accident, trust the pros at Pro Team Collision, your trusted auto body repair shop located in King of Prussia. Go to ProTeamCollision.com. We will start with this. This is in a town called Fort McMurray, and I'm not sure exactly what state that is in.
Sounds like Fred McMurray.
But one unlucky man got into a drunken brawl outside of a bar that ended with first responders surrounding him while his pants were down, and photos taken by a fellow patron of the bar showed a man who appeared to have gotten, listen to this, his penis stuck to the icy sidewalk.
Yes.
No.
following an inebriated fight.
So clearly someone double dog dared him.
It is unclear how the fight reached the point that his privates became public, but it was bad enough that he required help from first responders. His genitals were stuck to the ice as multiple people, including security at the bar, attempted to pull him off.
Oh, my balls!
The photos published by TMZ have been censored, but as they put it, quote, this gentleman's privates are clearly stretched before snapping right back to the ice. Authorities confirmed that the incident occurred outside the East Village Pub and Eatery in Fort McMurray on Sunday, January 12th. The fight started inside the venue and was later taken outside, during which the unfortunate man's pants fell down.
I'm going to go freeze my penis.
It looks like it's in Alberta, Canada.
It's north of Edmonton, so
oh my God,
that's how cold it is.
Yeah.
First responders were eventually able to get the man's penis unstuck, but he was arrested for his involvement with the fight. He did not sustain any serious injuries.
Oh no, the fire department.
And he was charged following his arrest. Police did not share what he was arrested for.
I know you all feel terrible.
A 12-year-old was shot Wednesday night after throwing a snowball at a car in Hartford, Connecticut, police said. Now, the kid's okay. He didn't die in this, thank God. But the child and an 11-year-old, were throwing snowballs when a snowball hit a car. The car looped the block and then chased the kids and fired rounds at the children.
Aren't you supposed to throw a snowball back?
The 12-year-old's injuries were not believed to be life-threatening. The 11-year-old was not struck by the gunfire. Officials are looking for the vehicle and investigating what happened. Now, police are not sure how many people were in the car at the time, and they are looking into video from the area.
Years ago, we did stupid stuff like that occasionally, and I didn't expect to get shot when we did it.
All right, so a Philadelphia mom is going viral after naming her baby after the cheesesteak. Now, what's interesting about this is how she spells it, okay? So the child's name is Philly Cheese Steak Grays Jr. Now, Philly is spelled F-I-L-E-I-G-H.
Philly.
Like Philly. Okay.
Cheese is spelled C-H-E-E-Z''E. Steak is spelled S-T-E-A-C-H-E. So Philly Cheese Steak Grays Jr. She posted, LaGloria had posted on Facebook, 7 pounds, 3 ounces, 19 and a half inches. And social medias were perplexed by the spelling, but also that the baby is a junior, which means there has to be a Philly cheesesteak Gray senior somewhere in the world.
Honestly, Pat's, Geno's, you have a spokespeople right here.
Right. Yeah. Now, whether this is legit or not, I'm not 100% sure, but this was posted. There's been no confirmation on whether the father or child of the child's name is also Philly cheesesteak Grays.
They're being represented by tomato pie, and tomato pie.
A surrendering, speaking of food, North Korean soldier risked his life by refusing to drop his sausage at gunpoint, according to the Ukrainian
Where are the sausages?
paratroopers who captured him.
Hold it out in front of you. Where are the sausages?
A detailed video account published by Ukrainian Special Forces described how the soldier refused to lay down his food while one of his compatriots tried to kill himself by running into a pillar. They later asked to watch Korean romance films, the Ukrainian said. One of the soldiers said he was lying there with his head and arm wounded. He had a grenade, a knife, and a sausage on him. I asked him to drop everything, but he refused to drop the sausage because it was food, so we let him keep it. The brigade captured the 2 North Koreans alive on January 11th, the first of the troops to be taken back to Kyiv for questioning. After a failed North Korean assault on Ukrainian positions, the paratroopers said that they found the first soldier lying in a trench, his head and arm wounded. The brigade's press service said it's no secret the North Korean soldiers do not surrender to capture. They are ready to commit suicide just to avoid being captured by Ukrainian soldiers. But this guy was not letting go of his sausage.
So he apparently had a holster and a bullet belt with Vienna sausages in it.
Well, those, the smaller ones you can fit in there. All right, and we're going to wrap it up there. That's what we have time for in the Bizarre File, because we do have a guest guest who is standing by. So we will break and come back in a moment. We will talk to Danny Clinch, who is one of the organizers of this big event, the Fire Aid Benefit in Los Angeles. We also have Joe Manganiello, who will be joining us from Deal or No Deal Island 2, or Dead or No Deal Island. And celebrity chef Jose Garces is stopping by, too. So we got a lot to get to. Stay put. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.
Forget about the lizard things. Come upstairs.
Let's have some oysters.
Okay. Should I move on to Khloe Kardashian now? Okay, thank you.
Same size.
I have the floor now.
Maybe that. There you go. King Kong marries Khloe Kardashian.
Today, it was, I guess, 25 years ago today, or recently, within the last week or so?
I think it's today. It's a magical day, or at least a magical time. You can sort of feel it in the air.
Yeah, you even look outside,
Yeah.
and the trees are swaying, I think, in honor of the fact that it is the 25th anniversary of the movie Twister.
Yeah. A legendary film.
Oh, my God.
Legendary, horrible film.
I remember looking forward to going and see. I took my mom. She was visiting in town, and I took her to go see the movie. And the big hook were the effects.
That's it.
At the time, the effects were kind of groundbreaking. The CGI depicting these tornadoes.
And they were amazing for the time. They did a great job.
Yeah. It was such a stupid movie.
The whole concept.
It was just piss poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rival storm chasers.
yeah.
There's the corporate storm chasers and the more grassroots in it for the love of the storm. The whole background story on Linda Hunt's character, Helen Hunt's Joe Harding.
Not Linda.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
Yeah. So the Helen Hunt's story about her dad being sucked away in a twister while they were in the storm cellar, and she's always had this love-hate relationship with the storms. But it's horrible. But again, at that time, the effects-wise, you'd never seen anything like that.
No, effects-wise. So here's my vivid memory of this movie. Because if it was 25 years ago today, I was just getting done my junior year of college. I was a lifeguard, and I was at my boss, the guy who owned the company. I was at his house getting all the supplies ready to clean out pools. We did apartment pools. And he talked like this, like his voice was like this, right? And so it's me and my little brother, and we're power washing all this stuff in his driveway. And he goes, I saw Twister last night, and those tornadoes were real. And he said that. Those tornadoes were real. He must have said that like a half a dozen times. My little brother, it was me and him, my younger brother, sorry. It was me and him. And so we will, even 25 years later, if the word tornado comes up in conversation, he and I will say, those tornadoes were real.
What was that guy's name?
I don't want to say his name.
What's his first name?
What was his first name? Last name?
You just know his last name?
Joe.
Okay.
Let's go with Joe.
Hey, Joe, how were those tornadoes?
Those tornadoes were real.
I love that story so much.
Was he suggesting that they had incorporated? What was his point? Was that they were not created for the movie, that they were corralling tornadoes and using them in the film?
I think what he meant to say was those tornadoes looked real.
Okay.
But he said that they were real, and he had like a real affinity towards just weather. He loved weather.
He was a weather guy.
Yeah, he loved weather.
It was like Philip Seymour Hoffman in the movie.
Well, listen, he owned a pool supply and lifeguarding company, so weather was definitely.
What I really love is weather.
Yeah. Weather's important to that line of work. Absolutely.
Yeah. Those tornadoes are real.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if my brother's
great.
texting me.
It's almost kind of Don Nazi.
Yeah. And I tell you,
Wait, I just said Don Nazi.
Very different.
Don Nazi.
Citizens of Mayberry, I find nice and gloomy.
Oh, my God. I didn't even mean to do that. Wow. Okay.
Bring Floyd in here. I have something for him to do. We got to talk about this Jewish thing.
All right. But you guys would be surprised how many people are texting in on how this is their favorite movie. Or that it's their.
I don't even get why
the
we're
best
talking
movie.
about it.
It's the 25th anniversary.
We're talking about it
tornadoes were real.
Who cares?
I mean, come on, Cap.
It was
real.
By the way, when Casey says that, he puts his hands by his sides.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like he pushes them into his sticks his elbows out and goes, "It was real.
Those tornadoes were real."
Primal Fear. Ed Norton has them as a very diabolical character, right? I remember he's completely psychopathic.
A good twist.
It's a twist. Yeah.
It's a twister.
It was real.
Those tornadoes were real, dude. I can't believe we just met this guy.
I can't believe I never took.
You've never. I've never brought it
I
up.
love that.
Dude, that guy, man. He lived in this beautiful, huge home. I'm like, how the hell? Like looking back on it, I'm like, how the hell did you? You just own a pool company. You know what I mean? Anyway,
There you go. Yeah.
All right, well, good on
And he
him.
My
loves
family money is real.
I want to get movie reviews from that guy.
Yes.
Other movies.
Other movies from Joe.
Yeah.
I love it. After grieving her husband Prince Philip's death, Queen Elizabeth is back to her royal duties. On Tuesday, she made her first official appearance following Philip's funeral. And she was seen... Oh, grinning. I thought it said grinding.
I thought it said gurning.
She's gurning.
Now, what's this? I'm sucking my chin into my mouth.
Wait, do we have the bell? It's the gurning.
Her Royal Majesty will now suck her chin into her mouth as part of the royal gurning. Her Royal Majesty will contort her face by sucking her chin up into her mouth.
If you're not familiar with gurning, it's when people like take their false teeth out and suck their lips into their mouth.
If you know what bitter beer face is.
Yeah, that's gurning. So she was seen gurning during two virtual audiences with Windsor Castle. So yeah,
Prince Charles will gurn simply by standing there.
no, it was grinning is the word I read incorrectly. So.
By the way, this very bell came from England.
No.
Really?
Yes, it did. I ordered it on Amazon, and it came, and there was the parcel information said from England. So maybe it's the one the Queen uses.
It might be. Might be.
Where's my goddamn bell?
the gurning.
I sold it on Amazon.
There we go. We had mentioned this earlier this morning, but it's definitely worth bringing up. The restaurant named Cadence, which is a BYOB on Girard Avenue, was named the best new restaurant by Food and Wine.
That's a super well respected journal in the world of the culinary happenings.
Yeah.
And so this is a big honor.
But in the order, you have Cadence is number one in Austin, Texas. Suerte. Frenchette in New York, Conby in Los Angeles, Kumiko in Chicago. These are all one-word names.
Manny's Chili Dogs.
Ah, that's on there. No, Pat's Chili Dogs.
Pat's Chili Dogs.
Yes.
Definitely the best theme.
Yeah.
Voted #1 in Food and Wine magazine. Yeah, baby.
That was from the band Cinderella when they were big in the area. They did
We're Warren. When we're in town, we want some good chili dogs. We always read through Food and Wine magazine and see who won.
They did a commercial for Pat's Dogs.
That building is now a We Buy Gold.
Oh, is it really?
We buy gold. Gold for sale. No more chili dogs. I'm not going west. Next step, selling blood.
Yeah. So number 6 on this list is Ada, which is Ada Indian Canteen.
Ooh, I love canteens. When you go in that, you need water.
Fox and the Knife in Boston.
Boston sucks.
Hey, we beat Boston.
Love me some good Fox.
There you go.
Suck at Boston.
How's the Fox at this place?
Indigo in Houston, Nightshade in Los Angeles, and in New Orleans, a place called Piece of Meat.
There you go. You know, it's I think one of the most difficult parts of a restaurant would be a name that means something and pops to people.
Yeah.
You know, like Pat's Chili Dog.
Right. That's... Yeah, I mean, you know, the name will only get you so far, but it is an added bonus. Answer the phone, by the way. Thank you very much. I don't know. If you had a restaurant, what would you name it?
I'd name it Answer the Phone.
Yeah, thank you.
Because
I'm sorry. I'm tired of waving my arms.
Yeah.
It's been happening
You
the
lose
last few
business.
days, and I'm just going to say answer the phone.
Answer the goddamn phone.
Yeah, answer. In fact, I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the restaurant.
Answer the goddamn.
Answer the goddamn.
Answer the goddamn phone! Great food! Answer the goddamn phone! Open online!
We've been mentioning all morning long, tickets for the MMBarbecue go on sale right now. It is exactly 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You can get your tickets. The lawn seats start at just $25, and we want you to get on board because we want you to be there for all of the bands and all the activities that are taking place. We're going to have Aaron Jones, who we just played, Dorothy, Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen's band, Mammoth, he will be there. Dirty Honey, Cheap Trick, The Offspring, and the band that this gentleman is in, who is joining us right now. We're so excited to have Jane's Addiction on the bill.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've seen them before. I saw them at the Spectrum ages ago.
Amazing, right?
Blew me out of the water. One of my favorite shows in that building of all time. Please welcome Mr. Dave Navarro. Our show today. Good morning, Dave.
Hi, guys.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. So I'm going to do a little lengthy setup for our next guest here because we had mentioned the Fire Aid benefit in Los Angeles that's coming up.
Right, huge.
Listen to the lineup. And I don't have every artist on here, but Billie Eilish, Dave Matthews, John Mayer, Green Day, Joni Mitchell, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Pink, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rod Stewart, Steven Stills, Stevie Nicks, Sting.
Yeah.
A ridiculous lineup, and obviously for an amazing cause, some people who really need some help. And we have one of the organizers on now to join us via Zoom. And his work as a photographer has appeared in publications such as Vanity Fair, Spin, Rolling Stone, GQ. The list goes on. He's published 4 books, Discovery In, When the Iron Bird Flies, Motor Drive, and Still Moving. He's directed various short films and music videos for, Pearl Jam, John Legend, and so on. And he's the founder and partner of the See Here Now Festival. I'm out of breath. Please welcome. Oh, and he's from Jersey.
Hey!
Please welcome Danny Clinch to our show this morning. Hey, Danny, good morning.
Hey, that was a good setup right there.
Thank you. We like
Thank
to,
you.
give a little ass kissing at the top there.
Oh, that's nice. I appreciate that.
No, but, I'd mentioned the Fire Aid benefit in Los Angeles and you organizing this. No.
I'm not an organizer of it.
All right, I was told you were. So what are you of it?
Well, I'll tell you what I have been a part of, which I'm sure you were probably going to get to, is that I've done 2 fundraisers, one for Fire Aid, well, not for Fire Aid specifically, but one to help in Los Angeles, and also one through Soulshine, which is a show that was done at Madison Square Garden with Dave and Warren Haynes and a bunch of other great artists. I was able to do a print sale through my gallery, Transparent Clinch Gallery, and raise a bunch of funds that are going to go to help out those in need in Los Angeles.
Excellent.
And also in North Carolina and Florida.
Yeah, it's amazing in sort of the most horrific way that we have these 2 large groups of displaced and affected people on both sides of the country that are trying to claw their way out of so much that went on. There's something about music, Danny, that seems to be the perfect fit for this because it's food for the soul, but also it can really motivate people to step up and be the most charitable they can be. I'm sure you found that in your own endeavors.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think that a a lot of the musicians that I love musically as well as, as humans, are people who look out for their community and are always giving back when they have the opportunity. And that is, Dave Matthews, John, Bruce Springsteen, Pearl Jam, Fish. A lot of these artists all have, charitable organizations that they then use the funds and spread them accordingly when needed.
So, Danny, let's talk a little bit before we get to Fire Aid about the Soulshine benefit and the people in North Carolina and Florida are still suffering. The hurricanes were several months ago at this point, and when it's not really in the news cycle as often, because obviously the fires in California kind of took a lot of that spotlight, but people still need help. And so what Soulshine did was raise a lot of money for them. But talk a little bit about what's still needed for the people in North Carolina and the people in Florida.
Well, I think, Warren Haynes, who his wife Steph and he put on, organized this Soulshine benefit. Warren is from North Carolina, and he does Christmas show every year that benefits Habitat for Humanities and a bunch of other great organizations down there. And so he thought it would be, obviously, he would be the man to put on this show there in, at Madison Square Garden to help out not only North Carolina, but those in Florida as well who had been affected. So I think, as you said, we were about to do this print sale to help out Soulshine, because I went to the show. It was an incredible show. Dave Matthews Band, Warren Haynes, Nathaniel Rateliff, Goose, Susan Tedeschi, and Derek Trucks. It was incredible. And I got some great photographs from there, and I always like to do a fundraiser when I can to help out. And just as we were about to drop it, this whole thing happened in Los Angeles. And it was kind of insane. So we ended up, dropping them together. And but still, I feel like all the attention is on Los Angeles right now, and we can't forget about.
No, you're right. It's the worst confluence of events that you have them back to back. Anytime anything of this level happens, it's going to be bad to begin with, and then you have them back to back, and so you don't want anyone to fall through the cracks. You talked about the prints and the photographs, and you talk about music, and you talk about there's a music, I think, to your photographs that's inherent. We know these artists. And it's been something that you're legendary for. And I know that you, as in your art form, you kind of have to be, sometimes you're out in front, sometimes you're a ninja, kind of working around drum kits and things like that. And obviously you've been doing this for many years, and the bands trust you and the artists trust you. Have you ever had a collision, though, with somebody on stage or something, because you're kind of surgically weaving in and out? Any incident come to mind?
One incident does actually come to mind, and I was it was many years ago, and I like to photograph on stage. I like to be there. I like to hide behind the drum kit, sneak out, grab a shot, hide back down, pop up behind an amplifier, get a shot, because it's so cool to see not only the musicians, but from that point of view, you're seeing the fans, you're seeing the venue, you're getting like the whole story in one photo, which is very, very exciting. And I was photographing Metallica back in the day, and the band was like, yeah, man, you can go wherever you want. And Kirk said to me, yeah, man, just make sure I don't swing around and like hit you in the head with my guitar. Go wherever you want. So I took that as the opportunity to go wherever I wanted, and I was having a great time. It was a great show. And the band hit this one note. Wow. They all, Lars stands up, throws the drumsticks, band starts leaving the stage. And I'm like, I'm just going to stay right in this spot because it's, this is a really great little spot on the side of the stage. When the band walks back on, I'm going to catch them walking onto the stage. And I'm sitting there squatting down. I feel like I'm, in the dark there. Nobody can see me. And one of the techs, the guitar techs, comes over and grabs me by the shirt and says, get out of here, man. And all of a sudden, like literally 30 seconds later, the pyro all went off.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's how James got injured the one time, man. A flash pot went off in front of him and burned him bad.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, I saw my life flash before my eyes. I was like, oh, my God.
Well, it could have been photographer / rotisserie chicken. Had it not played out. Yeah,
sure.
Danny, I have a friend of mine who's a professional photographer, and he always talks about when, my youngest was interested in photography and went to him for some advice. And the main thing that he tried to focus on was the story, of getting the story of what is happening with your subjects and the people and trying to tell that story. Now, you don't create the stories, but capturing the stories. You as a person, are you just intuitive in being able to pick out and just visually seeing what the story is when it's happening, or do you seek it out? I mean, maybe it's a combination of both, I assume.
Yeah, I think you have to be prepared, to look at the environment and see what might work photographically speaking. And I've always loved the journalism and the photograph as a document, where you're in an environment and something's going on. And it's not like making a documentary film where you have edits and you can have people talking and telling you the story of what it is, right? It's like you have to capture this whole story in one image.
Yes.
And so it's a great question. I'm always, I feel like everything to me is a photograph. When I'm walking down the street, I always have a camera. I'm always looking for some interesting story in the theater of life, that's happening, whether it's on the street or whether it's on the stage or backstage. I love being backstage, and I love capturing someone, writing their set list, two musicians, hashing out a song or working on a song, before the show. And I have a lot of great relationships with musicians and bands that I love that allow me to drop in and do that sort of stuff.
You're bringing up a good point, because I have, in the past 2 years, have gotten into photography, and I'm loving it, and I'm a neophyte, but I'm trying to explore all the creative ends to it, and there's all those things that occurs to me that you probably, went through years ago. It's not even a second thought. It's the notion of getting up with your camera and walking around and being that person are you standing out? I mean, obviously we have a high profile thing here with the show, but suddenly when you're the camera guy and you're holding the camera, it's like you feel a little awkward and you're kind of intrusive. And so I wanted to ask you, in your early years when you did not have that trust with the artists, and they had to I'm sure they were one-eyeing you and, not quite sure. How did you get to that point? Was it just simply in your work, or were there any tricks you employed?
That's a great question. I think, in the beginning you're feeling it out. And, I was very nervous, going into it when I started getting assignments to photograph musicians. And then when I was younger, my family, was and still is the guinea pigs of me coming up to every event with a camera.
Right.
Or when I was in school, one of the first photographs I took that I felt really told a great story was of my my two nephews and my niece. And shout out to Jared, because he listens to your show all the time.
Awesome.
And I caught a photograph of them. My two nephews were holding their sister, and she was very tiny at the time, and it was just a very simple photograph, but my mom's polka dotted sleeve was sliding in to hold on to Jessie so that she didn't fall, because my nephews were like 5 and 6 or whatever, and Jessie was a baby. And that told the story to me, and I was like excited about it. And when I started to photograph musicians, I loved the environment. I loved, capturing a moment. So I would just play some great music. I would crank some James Brown. I would, put people in some nice light. And then as time went on, I slowly learned how to direct people. And even people who love to be photographed and who are students of rock and roll, poses, like someone like Bruce Springsteen, who I work with a lot and really love. They still like to be directed. They like to know what looks good and what's going to work for them and what's going to help how can they contribute, to the image. So it becomes a collaboration, which is really exciting. And some collaborations are very big and people come with big ideas, and some are just very subtle where they are willing to participate, in the photo shoot and not just say like, yeah, go ahead, take my picture. I'll be over here.
Danny, I have a million questions about Eddie Vedder and Bruce Springsteen, but I want to touch on you growing up listening to MMR, and you were in Tom's River in Asbury Park. And
oh man,
tell us about your connection with the station growing up.
Well, I'm on the Jersey Shore. I grew up in Tom's River. I was a lifeguard on the beach. We always listened to WMMR. That's my friends and I. There was no question. And we could have went to New York City, which was north of us, but we always drove to Philly. We always went. You could go out of my driveway and then make a right on Route 37, and you just go straight into Philly, And we listened to Pierre Robert all the time. We would go out and see him at like Club Enchanté, or like we would see him at some of the shows, and we'd be like, "Oh my God, there's Pierre!" And I remember one time we were at Club Enchanté, me and my friends, and we were just having a grand old time. And I went in to go to the bathroom, and there I was standing next to Pierre, like.
You guys pissed together?
The urinal. I was like, "Oh, hey, Pierre, how you doing? Maybe this isn't the time to chat you up." But he's always been so kind and so great, and I have seen him around, even lately. And man, first of all, I don't think he ever ages, but he's just a. I love that guy.
He's a force of
great.
nature, man.
Best.
Definitely. If you're just tuning in, it's rock photographer and musician Danny Clinch that we're talking to. Danny, I had a question about working. You had mentioned Bruce Springsteen, and obviously you've worked with some of the biggest of the bigs. Who in that business? Because I've seen this before. These are famous rock stars, people. Their lives are set. But who have you found that is admirer of what you do and want to be able to do what you do? Not necessarily be a rock photographer, but be a photographer. I know that people like Andy Summers and even Paul McCartney, they've had these exhibitions that they've taken around. But what rock stars come to you and ask you, like pointers on doing what you do?
Oh, that's great. Funny enough, John Mayer takes photographs, and he has a Leica. I photograph with a Leica, and he and I have had several conversations backstage or during our shoots that we've done. Bruce Springsteen likes to photograph, and he has been really kind at See Here Now, the Transparent Clinch Gallery that I have in Asbury Park. We do a pop-up at See Here Now, and we get art from the musicians that play the festival and raise money for charity. And Bruce showed a couple of his photographs this past year, which was really exciting. Mike McCready takes a lot of photographs from Pearl Jam, and he has a Polaroid camera that he takes on the road with him all the time. And so Mike and I have had several conversations about photographing, and he's taken a bunch of Polaroids of me that I have. And that. So I can really go on and on. There's a lot of people.
Okay.
Patti Smith photographs, Michael Stipe, Andy Summers, as you said.
So who's the best? Who's the best?
Oh, who's
got
the best?
that natural?
Who's got the game, and who really should put that camera away?
I'm trying to think, but man, I'll tell you, I was very, very impressed with Bruce Springsteen's photographs. So like a soulfulness to them that is, to me, I was like, well, of course.
Son of a bitch. Well, you think about that cover to Nebraska, that black and white. I don't know who did that, but I mean, if you talk about something that's indicative of that, of being in touch with yourself. You took there's an iconic shot of many iconic shots, but Bruce leaning against a car. And I think that's your car, is it not? It is
my car.
Yeah.
And I took that on the boardwalk in Asbury Park.
Right. Is he an example? You were talking about people that you have to sort of corral into not taking the classic pose. Is he one that you have to kind of throw the brakes on?
No, I mean, he's fantastic. I mean, I think, if you read his book or saw his play, Bruce on Broadway, he talks about just, studying all the greats in rock and roll. And, Bruce is such a soulful songwriter, but he's also a great entertainer. He's looked at Sam and Dave, and he's looked at Chuck Berry, and he's looked at, all these great artists that came before him and studied them. So he's very good at participating in the shoots that I have. And I've done like a lot of the last 10 or so Bruce Springsteen album covers, starting with The Rising. I did,
that's some work there.
Danny, I did want to ask you about Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder. How did that relationship start? I know, you directed the documentary, the Let's Play 2, when they were at Wrigley a few years back. But where was the origins of that? How did you get connected with Eddie and the band?
Well, I love Pearl Jam. When that record came out, I was so into it. And my buddy, Tim Donnelly, who is one of my partners in See Here Now, Tim Donnelly, H.M. Wallman, myself, and Tim Sweetwood from C3. Tim Donnelly and I went to Lollapalooza in '92, and he said, "Hey, I'm writing a story for Surf Rider Foundation," and Tim's a wave rider and loves Pearl Jam, of course. He says, "I'm going to get to interview Ed. Why don't you come along, bring your cameras?" And I was like, "Oh, sure," I didn't know much about him at the time. The record had just come out, and we were we went to the show, and we weren't allowed backstage, and Ed actually climbed the fence from the backstage. Just he was just like, "Well, if you can't come in here, I'm coming out there." And he climbed over us, and we went back. We had a great conversation and a great hang. And I got some great photos of him. And then when we went to see the show, we were like right up in the front kind of, and he climbed up on the truss as he often does and had done. And I swear he saw us down there after spending, an hour with us hanging out. And he literally leaped right over top of me, and I grabbed a photo of him, like just silhouetted against the sky. Wow. And I was like, now that I know him, I was like, that doesn't surprise me. I just out and said, I'm going to jump right over these guys,
Well, if I may hit you up for another technique question, then do you prefer? Okay, this is the shot that I want. I'm going to go for this. Or which do you default to? I should say more often. Or a machine gun. I'm going to go after and check out what I got in the after. I know something's happening here. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Is it shot by shot with purpose? Or here's where I think something's happening. I'm going to check it out later and see if I was right.
Yeah, I mean, it could be both.
Okay.
I think most of the time you're trying to be. Back in the film days, you were being a lot more careful. Today, you can just
digitally, yeah,
just rip it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. I have a couple.
So don't make me start asking you questions about my online personality here.
It's just so fascinating. When we had Andy Summers on, it's funny because he responded more quickly to the photography questions than he did musical questions.
yeah.
He's really high on it. I think
that's what he wants to talk about.
Yeah, once people catch the bug, it really. And I've said this, Danny, is that the difference between people walking around with a cell phone and taking pictures. I found that having a camera with you makes you appreciate in a more profound way if you're taking a trip or you're walking around and looking at things, because I don't know, it brings it closer in, where I think the phone camera just makes it kind of a perfunctory muscle memory thing. Would you subscribe to that notion?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people discovered that they were good photographers by having a phone, and going out there, and Instagram came up, and I don't hate on Instagram, for a visual place to go, and for people who just really discovered, like, oh wow, look at this cool, strip of light that's coming out here, or this person's silhouetted, let me get this photo, and they realize that they love looking at the theater of life there and capturing moments, and realize that they would maybe try to pursue photography. So
yeah, okay.
Danny, where do you call home now? Where do you live?
I live in Toms River.
Oh, you still live in Toms River? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I lived. My wife and I, Maria and I, lived in New York City for many years. We have a loft in the city in Hell's Kitchen, but we've lived there for like 35 years, and we would go back and forth to New York City all the time, and we had great help from our parents and aunts and uncles and all that. So it was it made sense for us. And then once during the pandemic, actually, we decided to move our whole business to Asbury Park, and we had a really great opportunity to do a pop-up gallery of my work in Asbury, and which now turned into, it was supposed to be 3 months. Now we're there 8 years, but we moved the whole gallery and my photography business, all my printing and archiving and all that, to Asbury Park a couple of years ago.
It makes sense. Now, rumor has it that as a young man, you would go to Great Adventure when they would have bands play, sneak your camera in, and that's where the seed was born. Because I remember Great Adventure, I don't, it's obviously, it's been around forever, but rock acts were booked there frequently.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was fun. I did. It was one of my early shows that I photographed was Charlie Daniels band there. When I was a kid, I just like, hey, we're gonna. I think maybe my folks wanted to go, and I went and brought my camera. I didn't have someone who was always taking me to shows and stuff when I was a lot younger, so I went there, and then also like, Cat Scratch Fever, Ted Nugent came through. And I brought my camera in there and took some photos and tried to sell them to my friends at school who love Ted Nugent.
That's cool. Yeah, there you go. You got the bug. Thanks to Great Adventure.
Yeah. And then my friend, my best buddy growing up, Mickey, his brother and sister, they were our musical informers. They loved Springsteen, Bob Seger, the Allman Brothers, Warren Zevon, stuff like that. So, and then Billy took us to see Springsteen when we were pretty young, which was really eye-opening and very cool.
Danny, Nick, or I'm sorry, Steve had asked earlier on in the conversation about, being in the line of fire, and you had that great Metallica story. But another thing that happens in rock a lot is sometimes there's a lot of bodily fluid in the way of sweat and spit that happens on stage. You as a photographer, are you in the firing zone from time to time?
Oh, man. I don't know why this comes back to Metallica again. But funny enough, my assistant, who we recently did a shoot with Metallica, and it was incredible. We went and photographed. And Lars literally spit, and it landed right on his head. Last night.
Are we talking full pulp or just saliva?
Oh man, I don't want to know.
Big old goober.
All I know is he was like, "Oh, what the hell was that?"
Yeah, it's always the camera guys, it's always the photographers who get spit on. Or
I would
bled
imagine
on, or
that's a rock photographer's baptism, basically, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my goodness! All right, well, with the fundraiser, once again, Danny, if you could pass along the information, how people can contribute and how your works are involved in that too.
Yeah. So I have a gallery in Asbury Park called Transparent Clinch Gallery, and we have live music there. It's not like a white glove gallery. It's more of like a community living room. We have a lot of local bands come through and play. We've had, Glenn Hansard in there, Gary Clark Jr., Nathaniel Rateliff, The Head and the Heart, all these great other bands would come through Asbury Park and play there with us. And so it's a community spot, and we try to give back to the community as often as we possibly can. And Asbury Park, by the way, I could be a PR guy for Asbury, but it's really landed in such a great spot, and there's so many good restaurants there and music venues. Stone Pony 50th anniversary. In fact, at See Here Now this past year, I play in the Tangiers Blues Band out of New York City. I'm a harmonica player. And Bruce Springsteen came in and sat in with us on the late night show.
Wow.
See Here Now.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
By the way, I could just keep going on and on, but let's talk about what's really important. So we have decided to do these two fundraisers. And to be honest, the first one with John Mayer and I both signing these certain prints, we ended it on Friday. We were so overwhelmed with goodness from people. But we decided that we would open it up to WMMR listeners till noon today, Eastern Standard Time.
That's awesome.
And so you go on the website for Transparent Clinch Gallery .com, and you will see the link there. It'll be obvious. And if you punch in the code WMMR TCG for Transparent Clinch Gallery, TCG, till noon today, we're going to open it back up. And we'll be grateful to take in some more money to help them out. I also encourage people to look at the Soulshine benefit that we're doing right now. There's 3 really great photographs in there. One of Dave Matthews and Warren Haynes, and one of Dave, Warren, and Derek Trucks. And then there's a group shot of everybody from the sweet spot on the stage where I was standing on the drum kit and photographing, and we got everybody who played that night, which was a huge group of people.
That's great.
It's a great photo. And it's every bit helps, and it's not a lot of money to make a big difference.
Yep.
And so I'm excited about that. And the John Mayer. The funny thing is I put up this photograph. I did the film called Where the Light Is, which is a John Mayer film, concert film, where he played solo, he played with his incredible power trio, and then he played with his whole band. And I made a film about it. And one of the things we decided to do was go up on Mulholland Drive and look over the city and have John play, just some nice instrumental music with the city behind him at dusk when the sun had just gone down. And I took a photograph of the guitar, the seat, and the amplifier with the city behind it, and I posted it on my Instagram, which is DannyBones64. And John saw it, and he just sent me a little note. He was like, "Man, this is beautiful. I really appreciate you, putting that up, and thank you for that." And then a bunch of people in the messages started saying, "If you put this photo up as a fundraiser, I'm going to buy it." And so we did. And I called John, and we were talking, and he said, "Well, what if I sign it, and I'm going to write Meet Me Where the Light Is?" And I was like, "Well, that's great, but if you do that, we're going to sell a lot of these prints, and you are going to be signing for days." And he was like, "I don't care. I'm in."
Excellent.
And I was like, "Really?" Because I've done these print sales before, and I've signed a lot of these. I'm sure let's be honest, he signed a lot more stuff than I have. But anyway, he said he would do it, and then, man, we sold a lot of prints. He is going to be doing some sessions.
That's
John
terrific.
Mayer, you're going to be doing some sessions.
Yeah.
It's a good man.
Carpal tunnel on that one.
Well, we'll make sure we post all this on our socials and on PrestonandSteve.com on our website, so people can access that and know about the sale going on today, and see if we can get just a little bit more. Keep those numbers coming in,
Yeah.
And I've got to come see the gallery sometime for sure.
Oh,
I'm gonna add that a list of things to do for sure.
Well, they have a radio broadcasting area in the gallery at the Transparent, and so Danny said maybe we could broadcast from there someday. Ooh, right, Danny? Didn't you say that?
Yeah, let's do it. Come on.
We have a couple places. We have to go there. We have to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We gotta get out on the road basically.
Add it to
That's
the
what we
list.
have to
We'll do it. Let's do a
listen,
tour.
Yeah.
You guys, you're not that far from Asbury Park, as I said.
Yep.
You can drop in. Make sure you let me know, and I'll be there, and you'll love it. It's it's a great place to be in any time of year, really. And when it's really quiet in the winter, but when in the summer when it's banging, it's fun. See here now,
Yeah.
All right, we got to put that in the book there.
All right, Danny, we'll do it. Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us this morning, and obviously what you do. Thank you for your craft and also, all of your endeavors to help people out. It's a wonderful thing, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got
and
it.
a shout out to all those musicians who do the same, and shout out to Pierre Robert.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you, Danny Clinch, everybody, on the Preston and Steve Show. Photograph.
Yeah,
there you go. Nice. All right, with that, wrapping up that particular chat sesh, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We have more people to talk to when we return, so hang out. We won't be gone long.
Preston and Steve on 93.
After splitting from Kristen Cavallari after 10 years together, sources tell ET that Jay Cutler is on the celeb dating app called Raya.
This just in, Jay Cutler's on the dating app Soraya.
Psoriasis. Raya. No.
It's for people looking for other people with skin conditions.
That's cool.
Let's meet for some drinks and chafe together. Let's flake together.
Yeah.
And then I am on a site for people with vitiligo.
Oh, let's flake together.
No, I think it's like one that you have to be accepted into.
Raya. Is it one of these where you need
like some
you
sort
have
of
to be somebody?
Yeah, like notoriety.
Okay. Yes, in fact, it is the celebrity
notoriety.
Raya.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. Maybe it's Raya, Raya. But
who really cares?
His profile on Raya says, let's see here. He's here just for friends.
Yeah, right.
Whatever, man.
Friends you can. Friends will touch your genitals.
That you can diddle.
Yeah.
Who gets to decide whether or not you're a celebrity worthy enough to be on this website?
I think they have actually a
website.
vetting committee.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I believe that's the way it goes. And they will determine. Think of it as there's like a Steve Rubel standing in front of Studio 54, and they decide whether you're appropriate for this website.
So, well, listen, in honor of, was it International Geek Day? Or?
It's just Geek Pride Day.
Geek Pride Day.
Yeah.
I'd been working on an impression. You guys want to hear it? So, Steve, you do your Batman impression, but you have that...
processor.
You have the processor.
Okay.
I don't have a processor.
Are we supposed to guess what this impression
No, it's Batman. It's Batman.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, you ready?
Okay, yeah.
Please keep that kryptonite away from me.
Is that a line he says in the movie?
No, please keep that kryptonite away from me.
You sound like Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
Oh.
It sounds like it hurts when you do that.
No.
Please keep that cookies away from me.
Because it's a Superman impression?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've been working on it.
It's really good. It's really good.
I got it.
So it's a Superman impression.
I was confused why the whole kryptonite
It's a
thing,
terrible
but-
joke that I heard with Chuck over the weekend. You say this is Batman, but you obviously say Superman line, and then somebody says, that's Superman. And then you go, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like, that's Superman. I told Chuck, I said, dude, I'm going to hang myself out to dry next week.
Yeah.
But you did it, man. You took the bullet.
Are we on air?
Yeah, we are.
I think we're still on air.
In fact, Bill's coming down the hallway with an award for Casey.
That was great.
That was
That's an immediate A+. That's like my joke. Good morning, Cincinnati.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Please keep that kryptonite.
Just don't do one that sounds like Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster.
Like the thanks man thing, I was like, I didn't even get that part of it. So, sorry, man.
Nick got it. He was
Yeah,
following.
I know.
I enjoyed every second of it.
And Bill's has that award in his hands.
Yep. By the way, somebody said we should make Bad Dad Joke Cookie Monster a character. So you have to do all the dad jokes.
What was the last one I just did off air?
The thing is that it was not attempting a Cookie Monster,
it wasn't.
but that became your default.
Take kryptonite away from me. Tell me, do you like cookies? Me too.
Me too.
Tonight, when you go back home, turn off the cookie light.
Tell me, do you like to eat cookies? Me too. Did you know that Mortal Kombat was it from Finland?
No.
What was the joke? I forget. It's something like... My mother was born in Iceland, and my father was born in Cuba. That makes me an ice cube. Mortal Kombat was based off of a Scandinavian song. It was a Finnish hymn. You get it? Finish him.
All right, I like Bad Dad Joke Cookie Monster.
Oh, man.
It's a thing now, Kat.
Yeah.
Kathy!
Wow.
Oh, God.
Anything to make you cringe, Kath.
Anything.
Pizza Hut seems to be trying to bring in new customers by reviving old menu items, and the latest is what they call the Edge. Part of the chain's nostalgia campaign.
My name is Bono, and I'd like to introduce a new pizza sensation to you. It's called The Edge. Some people say this is a revolutionary pizza, but it's not. It's a pizza that's been here before, probably in your own big fat belly. Remember what we say here, avoid the noid.
That's Domino's. This is Pizza Hut. All right, so it's called The Edge, and
It's called The Edge.
Pizza Hut considers The Edge. It was first introduced in 1997, and they call The Edge a tavern-style pizza.
Oh, yeah.
It's cut into 16 squares and comes in a cracker-thin crust.
I remember this.
Geometrically perfect and a taste sensation that'll rock your world.
And it will be available at participating Pizza Hut locations.
Order now and receive a mid-sized Coke.
Mid-size.
It'll be available at participating locations nationwide for about $13.
So I did Pizza Hut just not that actually that long ago. It was It was probably during Lent, and I did it because we had been talking about it. I'm like, I
You're a
haven't.
man of faith.
Well, I hadn't had a Pizza Hut pizza in a long time, so I ended up getting a regular pizza, and then I got the stuffed crust pizza. And I know that you guys are all out on stuffed crust. I thought the stuffed crust was.
You're a filthy animal.
I know, but I thought it was markedly better.
I'm not out on stuffed crust, but I just don't order it. You know what I
Too
mean?
much.
I know, and I
Why don't they just take a fire hose and spray cheese on you as you come in?
Right.
So this pizza, looking at it, I'm glad thin crust has kind of made its way around the country because I grew up in St. Louis. This pizza called the Emos. You guys know I've talked about it for years. That's what it is. It's just thin crust
your
pizza.
version of the Edge.
It's cut in squares. That's the way they've always cut it, and it's been since I was a baby. Essentially that that I've had that. So
Suckling at your mother's teeth.
I prefer this type of pizza. I'm glad that it's made its way around.
And so I don't actually ever remember this as a menu item. So
I don't
you
remember
guys,
this from Pizza Hut either. Steve.
I do.
I remember Domino's.
You do?
I do remember this, and I remember it because of like the way that they were able to cram as much pizza on as thin a crust as possible and get it all the way to the edge. Hence the name.
Well, this was kind of like you said, 97, right?
Yeah.
So like that was past at least my Pizza Hut days. I think the last time I had Pizza Hut, I was in like middle school.
You were not in college or an ordering pizza.
Was the time at downtown Julie Brown.
Wubba wubba wubba.
No, Nick, you know.
Wubba wubba was the battle cry as they took to the pizzas. The ovens flamed with the fires of edginess.
Wubba wubba.
No, Nick, we had like the famous like pizza restaurant that we would go to in Westchester.
What famous pizza restaurant was it?
Mores, I think it was called.
That's Amores. It's love.
We had Oips.
College towns always have the the local pizza joints.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. The one at University of Missouri was Shakespeare's, and it was outstanding.
Original Italian pizza, Oips. Everybody ordered.
Oips?
Yeah, original Italian pizza is what that stood for, and that was the college town pizza. Yeah, so but you wouldn't order from OIP. You'd from Oips. That's
I like
Oips.
that. Yeah.
All right, let me move on to something else. You had mentioned your mustard, Nick.
Yes.
You may want to try that on watermelon. It's the latest thing that people have been sampling. Lizzo kind of made a big deal about it on TikTok. So she had she made a video of her doing some funny TikTok things where there's some edits and all of a sudden the watermelon appears and so on.
So this to me, Preston, seems like the old thing of putting salt on watermelon.
Yeah, I grew up putting salt on watermelon. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But they had said it was to bring out the sweetness by adding the salt. And
I heard that on cantaloupe.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Same thing. Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like them.
Any melon will do.
So here's the thing.
Doesn't matter if it's a cantaloupe or a honeydew or a cassava. Any melon covered in salt will bring out the sweetness of the savory. Living together on one melon the way we should all live together.
Now people are trying mustard.
Now they're trying mustard just like Lizzo.
Yeah. So, but the jury's out on whether she thought it was good or not. So she had called it, is it bussin' or disgusting?
Is it bussin' or disgusting?
But she never really.
Is it bussin' or disgusting?
In this video said whether it was bussin' or disgusting. So.
No, she doesn't. And I think, so the common thing of like sea salt and caramel.
Yes.
So to me, that does work. And some things that I thought would never work do work. I don't know about the watermelon and the mustard. It just seems to be too combating.
Yep.
I'm tying it into the previous conversation. We used to do mustard on pizza.
Okay. I can see that.
Did
I don't know. I'm not sure. Somebody.
Ranch dressing, Kathy.
Ew, no. That's just
You
for
said,
the,
"Ooh, no,"
that's
but
for
you
the
put-
crust, right? Or the whole pizza.
You can do the whole pizza.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
should-
I know.
we
I
should have
said,
gotten
ew, no,
watermelon.
yet I put mustard on pizza. Sorry.
We should have taste tested this.
Casey, when's the last time you've had ranch
Ranch?
dressing on pizza?
It's been a while.
been a while?
At least like 2 or 3 days.
Okay. All right.
Do we have something that could approximate a melon and put some mustard on it?
Wait, I might. Let me see if I have.
Do you keep a melon in your desk drawer?
I might have
Kathy
watermelon.
brings a ton of fruit every day, remember?
Oh, can we try that?
Fruit salad.
Yes.
Go see if you have watermelon.
Yummy.
We'll try it.
Let's get it.
I'm sure
Kathy rises to the challenge.
there's got to be mustard in the fridge.
Yes.
Connor, can you go look in the fridge and see if there's any mustard?
Let's try it.
Or Marissa's already on her way. But yeah, I got to believe no matter what, it's not good. And this is just a thing that people have done to make you eat mustard on
Preston,
watermelon. Here, try this.
People are eating Tide Pods, so you have to take everything with a grain of salt.
Here's a text. Somebody says, my husband always puts pepper on his cantaloupe.
What?
Interesting.
What, in prison?
No.
Oh.
But I've had, you know what? I've had fruit in salads before, and you put pepper. Like, there's strawberry salads and things like that.
Do you know what I
Pepper on
do?
that.
So, and it's a weird. So, Honey Grow, I do the like a sesame noodle. Whatever they call it, it's a salad, I guess it is.
Okay.
But pineapple in that. So something, pineapple and sesame and a sesame sauce work together really well.
I could see that work. Sometimes when you have like a teriyaki dish.
Yes,
there'll be
exactly.
pineapple in that.
That's the same thing.
Sesame oil in usually in that. So that'll play along.
It's great.
Let's see if Kathy is.
Jennifer melons. Where's Kathy's melons?
Hang on. Here we go.
They're usually on display.
Not in a non-sexual way. In the way she has a 44 pound.
We got it.
We do.
So you got watermelon. So we can try this. Should I just hold off until we get
Hold
this?
off.
All right. Because
Hold.
now we're in Braveheart.
Yeah, there we go. I got you.
Freedom! Do you want to live in chains, or do you want to live with salt on your watermelon? Ah!
Mustard!
my God.
It's a Friday.
It is a Friday.
I know. Wow.
Well, now I want to go watch Braveheart.
I think they actually
They're making love.
They're pounding the actual mustard seeds right
Pounding
now.
the mustard seeds. Pounding them out. 1 mustard seed. 2 mustard seeds.
Slapping them down.
Slapping them down. Slap at the base.
Now we've gone to I Love You Man.
Yes. All right. Here we go.
Wow, they eat plates and
I don't want it. I don't want to have
I will
dip
try
in.
it.
You don't want to? Oh, yes.
I'm chewing tobacco, so I'm just trying to be healthy, guys.
Thank you, Marissa. That's
I don't
right.
want to sully the taste of the tobacco.
All right, so we each have a small piece of watermelon, and we have a little dollop of a mustard.
Do a dollop.
Is this regular yellow mustard, Marissa? All right.
Wait. Don't
What?
do it. Oh, I want to do a countdown. I'm going to get everybody ready.
Okay.
Oh, we're all going to do it at the same time?
Just like they do in a temple.
I'm going first. I'm sorry. You guys, hang on. That way I can talk while you guys are chewing, all right?
All right.
And 3.
3, 1, 2, 3.
1. That's disgusting.
Yeah, you're not a fan? All right.
That's horrible. There's nothing appealing about that at all. Not in the slightest.
Well, maybe it was the mustard. Get different mustard.
No.
No?
No. It doesn't belong on watermelon. Kathy?
I do love mustard, though.
I don't mind
And I
it.
like watermelon.
I think it's two separate things that I like,
I
but
agree.
I don't have the reaction that you have that it was disgusting.
I think it has to be marketed as 2 great tastes that are horrible together.
There you go.
Wait, didn't your son make you like a peanut butter and tuna fish sandwich once because he knew that you liked both?
No, it was Gadzooks ice cream and shrimp. They were 2 of his favorite things, and he said they must taste great together. I let him learn that one on his own.
Oh, my God.
You know what? Okay, I'm going to bring this up because I don't know when I'll have another opportunity to do so, but Stevie sent me
Okay,
this.
fancy boy.
You sent me this article about the best brownies in Philly.
Oh.
And it's essentially just a list, and it's huge.
There's about 50 of them.
It's way too big to go through.
We are in the best of times when it comes to brownies in Philadelphia.
Yeah, what I didn't know was how many places are known for their brownies. And there's a lot of them. So there's Cake Life Bake Shop, Second Daughter Baking Company, Franklin Fountain, Dolce, Crust Vegan Bakery, the
love
Frosted Fox Cake Shop. What's that, Kath? What do you love?
Franklin Fountain.
Yeah, but you got to make sure you're either A, ready to wait in line, or B, get there at a time where there's not a line, because it's really popular. It's fantastic. It's so good. You guys ever been? It's right on.
I have not, no.
It's on Market, and it's great. It's really
Is it a bakery?
It's like an ice cream shop, like an old-timey ice cream shop. Yeah, and so you go in and they have really good ice cream and really good dessert treats. So it's worth it. It's just not cheap, and you got to wait.
Nick, a friend of mine did her wedding pictures there.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's a cool spot.
All right.
WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. Our next guest is ready to join us, and he's on to talk about the Deal or No Deal Island new episodes coming up.
Yes.
This is the second season.
Second season, yeah.
But you've known him from tons of stuff, everything from the Spider-Man movies to True Blood to Zack Snyder's Justice League
Jesus,
as
it's
well.
awesome, yeah.
And as well known as he is, pronouncing his name has been one of life's difficulties for me.
It has been an issue.
I'm going to take a shot at it.
Okay.
As the man himself is coming on to join us. Please welcome Joe Manganiello to the program this morning. Good morning, Joe.
All right, I will accept that pronunciation.
Okay. Give me the real thing. The real thing.
Well, there's the Americanized version, and then there's the Italian version.
Okay.
So the original version would be Manganiello.
Manganiello. Almost like an Enya in there.
Manganiello, Mr. Manganiello.
Okay. And
now, in America, you can say Manganiello.
Manganiello. All right, we'll go with that. It's the I that throws me off in there. So, but all good, man. Well, listen, I mentioned all these the films that you've been involved in throughout the years and TV shows as well. But as a host, you're the executive producer of Deal or No Deal Island as well. How does this feel? Adding this new badge to your career?
I mean, I've been producing things. I mean, not only as a kid, but I mean, as a professional. You know, I've produced a bunch of movies and things like that. And it's not just a name only title.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I roll my sleeves up. I get my hands dirty, and I'm very much involved with the show. But especially with this show, as opposed to a movie. You know, this is something very close to my heart because I'm very much a strategist and a gamer at heart. So getting inside of the mechanics of the game, the casting of the game, and then I'm like a field general when we're out there. As a documentary filmmaker as well, which I've done on several occasions, you're constantly thinking about the edit and the end product while you're shooting. And so I get to get out there and mold it, or at least, I know where to hold the magnifying glass, or I'm anticipating the action that's about to happen. So, a lot of my job is really setting up the action for the audience and then creating as dramatic of a moment for the cameras when that story actually unfolds. So for me, it's a really natural fit, and it was something that that I was prepping for during the first season. I knew this was coming.
Well, I watched a number of the episodes of the first season because it seems like one of those things, like an impossible amalgamation of things. And I would say to people, obviously you have the Deal or No Deal element in there. There's a bit of Survivor. It's kind of a Big Brother thing. There's a Bachelor. All of these vibes. I'm like, okay. And I think it was more just a curiosity, Joe, initially. How is this going to synthesize? And it plays out very well. And you talk about being a gamer. You are legendary in the Hollywood community for your Dungeons and Dragons crew that you roll with. Let people know just how deep you are into gaming, especially on the D&E end.
Well, Dungeons & Dragons hired me years ago as a consultant. I was on payroll for years as I was preparing to develop a series of their novels, the Dragonlance novels, these New York Times best-selling fantasy novels by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. They were my favorite series of books growing up. And, I got involved with the company because I was positioning to develop these novels for them, which I eventually was hired to do, and turned in a pilot script for a TV series, streaming series. And so while I was doing that, I worked with the company to really destigmatize the property in a way. Because when I was growing up, it was mired with a lot of controversy, and so it was kind of like unraveling that as, things like Stranger Things and then the new 5th edition brought the game into more prominence and created this kind of renaissance period for us. So I worked very closely with the company, talk shows and hosting events. And actually I would, I designed a lot of toys that were sold in toy stores for them. And there was like no T-shirts and clothing and things like that available, and I started designing the first ones that actually went out and were sold to the public.
That's awesome.
About 6-7 years ago. So I was really heavily involved with the brand in all of those ways, and I actually worked as a game designer and wrote some of their material and adventures, and then people started coming over, and I started running games while I was writing the pilot script and developing Dragonlance. I started hosting a Friday night game, and it attracted some of the biggest actors and pro wrestlers and rock stars, in the world to my game room.
Well, you're not kidding. Vince Vaughn, Tom Morello, James Gunn, did Brian Posehn ever make it over there?
Brian hosts a podcast called Nerd Poker, and I would go and play on his podcast a couple of times. Actually, we got paid to go play live in a bunch of different events. So, I know Brian pretty well.
Well, you're perfect for putting together this show, because when you talk about, so we play games on this program, and I will come up with games from time to time, and while going through them, you have to make sure that every base is covered, that there's no gray area on the way that the rules play out. And you have to do dry runs and try them out with other people, make sure that it works out. I play some board games with my son. He's into Magic the Gathering and these other games, and the detail on those is obnoxious. It drives me crazy when I play with them, because there are so many little rules that you have to follow. So your gaming is extensive, and that's perfect, because when you're going into a show when money's on the line, you guys have to make sure that everything is on the up and up.
Well, that's right, but it's also, our show is different. Our show, it's a reality competition series, so it really is a game that unfolds, and none of it is scripted, and we don't tell people what to say. We set up the cameras, and oftentimes there are 16 cameras running, and so we're setting this up and capturing the action as it unfolds, and we trust that our story team and our editors, our post-production team, that we can all make the best story out of whatever we capture, but we just want it to unfold naturally.
Yeah, and word has it that you show up, and you're obviously heavily involved, but you're apprised of who's been hooking up and what's been going on in this encampment, and that so it goes on. And I heard this. I don't know if this is true or not, Joe, but part of the facility was formerly something that Pablo Escobar used for cocaine distribution or something like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, all those islands in the Caribbean, have long histories and kind of currently overgrown airfields. They were all covered with airstrips. And yeah, our base camp, there are still the remnants of a Pablo Escobar camp on the island. Yeah.
Wow. That is wild.
Yeah. By the way, new episodes are Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock on NBC. And of course, you guys have it available to stream on Peacock the following day. If you haven't seen it, you can get caught up on this. But I had a question outside of the show, Joe, if you don't mind. Did I read this little factoid about you? Were you indeed a roadie for Goldfinger back in the day?
Yeah, that's true. Good friends with John Feldman. He called me up once, said, what are you doing for the next month? And at that point, I had nothing going on. So he said, you want to come out on the road with me? We'll hang out. I'll put you on the payroll as security. All you have to do is throw drunk kids off the stage and we'll hang out. We're going to go to New Zealand, Australia, Hawaii, Canada, back to the U.S. And I said, sure. And so, flew around the world with Goldfinger.
And how were your throwing skills?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice.
Yeah, strong to quite strong, yes.
That's very good.
Very cool.
You seem like you would be in the right shape to do that type of thing. So what's going forward here? How many episodes altogether in this second season?
12 episodes. This episode this week is episode 4. And it's really where, I'd say that all the leaves, the loose leaves are now off the tree.
Yeah.
And from here on out, the game really begins. And this episode this week is it's awesome. And it is. You want excitement, you want drama. This week's episode, it kicks off, and it's really like the first 3 episodes were the roller coaster reaching the top of the first big hill.
Yeah.
And the rest of this season is that big fun roller coaster run. So.
And by the way, they're always a lot of impossibly good-looking people the kind of people you do want to see on a beach and running around tropical locations. So there's the eye candy as well.
Sometimes, I think sometimes shows try to steer away from that. I think kind of in the modern era, let's say. But our show, I got to hand it off to the casting. I mean, inside and out, these characters are amazing. The contestants, the guests, especially this season, are unbelievable. So, yeah, you kind of go for the beach bodies, but you stay for the personality.
Yeah,
they're great.
That's why they don't have a show called Susan Boyle Island. That's no one wants to see that. Let me.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it might work.
It might work.
That could work.
We're friends with Zack Snyder over the years, and he's been great coming on the show a number of times to support a number of the charities that we do. And I have to ask, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, did you get to keep the Deathstroke helmet?
Yeah, so when I left Monaco, I was leaving the yacht where we shot the Lex Luthor scene.
Yeah.
And as I was leaving, one of the costume girls came over and said, "Open your bag." And she stuck the helmet in my bag. And so, yeah, I went back through customs back from, we went from Monaco to south of France, flew out of Nice back to Heathrow, and then from Heathrow back to Los Angeles with the helmet in my carry-on.
Well, we're waiting for that movie eventually, and we'll pray to the gods that something gets done with you because you're perfectly suited for this that role, and we'd love to see that. But the show is great, and then you're also going to be on One Piece season 2.
That's right.
Yeah, so congratulations on all of that. Great stuff.
All right.
Thanks very much.
We'll send people in the direction of Deal or No Deal Island, 9 p.m. NBC. New episode tomorrow night, season 2. Joe, thanks for joining us, and thanks for straightening out the name thing. I really appreciate that, brother.
Arrivederci.
Joe Manganiello on the Preston and Steve show. Nice guy. Manganiello is the straight up way to do it. I always get it's Manganiello.
That's the tripping point.
And I feel like it should be Manganiello.
Hey.
Manganiello, but Manganiello is the Americanized version of that. So cool.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
All right, we have a guest in the studio. I can pronounce his name
Yes.
very well. We know him very, very, very well from many, many years stopping by. And he's got a new line of ready-made meals for you. We want to welcome our celebrity chef friend, Jose Garces, to the show.
Wow.
Nice to see you, Jose.
Great to be here, guys. It's been some time, and you guys all look good. Everyone's looking
Dude,
healthy.
you look
Yeah.
good. You look really, really good. You've trimmed down, and you look like you're in great shape.
It's just a healthy lifestyle approach. You hit 50, and then I think something goes off, and you're like, okay, it's time to move in the right direction.
You know what you're looking like? You're looking like one of the guys who'd be involved with the Sex and the City girls.
Oh, hey, okay, I'll take that.
But this is so cool. So Jose has a new line of ready-made meals. It's called Como, and he brought us in some packages of this. And let me tell you, the first thing you notice when you pick it up, you're like, it's like somebody picking up an Oscar and going, wow, this thing's really heavy.
It's dense.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this line, what the inspiration for this was, and the type of food it is, and all the particulars.
Awesome. Yeah. Guys, so I've been in the restaurant business for so many years, and really this was kind of a COVID thing. As things started to slow down, I started to look at other parts of food and beverage that I've always wanted to get into, which one was retail. And so I had a partnership group who approached me and said, hey, we love your profile. We love your food. So let's work on some lines to get into consumer retail goods. They had an affiliation with Costco. So we got to work. And this is, I got to tell you, it takes some time. So this is we're year 3 into just getting the development done and launching.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you've also been an innovator in the way you approach, the food supply chain restaurants, the way they run, the farm to take, all of that stuff has been a part of what you've been working on. So when something like this comes along, and Costco is a score, man. I mean, to get into that, and then you're dealing with all sorts of where is it placed and so on and so forth, all the minutia that surrounds it.
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world, yeah.
And definitely, I wanted to approach it from just an organic place of where is our chicken coming from? So this is Yucatan chicken. It's cooked in natural spices. It's got some fresh orange juice and pineapple kind of in the marinade, and it really, to me, it was about working with our co-packer. They're a co-packer out of Chicago called Ruprecht. And they, what I liked about them is they cook a lot of their protein sous vide style. So It goes in a vacuum seal bag in the marinade, slow cooked, slow and low.
Taste preserving.
Taste preserving. And the texture, though, is, I think, what's really special in a product that you can get at, a retail shop. So I'm super psyched. We've been out about a week. So this is like, going into week 2 of the product. And yeah, there's some nuances. Like there's, end caps. I didn't know what that was.
So what Jose's talking about is, if you're placed at the end of an aisle, as people around, they're going to see your stuff as they're walking. I mean, it's just line of sight, what shelf you end up on, what part of the store, the flow, the feng shui sort of the whole thing.
Right. And, I think the thing with Costco that's pretty cool is they sample a lot of their products. So, and I'm finding like the Costco like member culture is everyone walks around, they're eating. Everyone's sampling and tasting. Yep. So I was just at a store in Scarborough, Maine, where we were doing some sampling, and it was great to be able to interact with everyone and say, hey, what do you think? Is this something you would want? And a lot of the reaction I got is like, hey, how much am I getting and how much does it cost? And that's a big factor.
Well, I can tell you right now, one box is about 100 pounds.
Yes.
So, but it's a lot. It says heat and eat and ready in minutes. So this is a survey. I'm having the Yucatan style marinated chicken, braised chicken thighs, in a flavorful sauce. What is the serving?
So the serving size. So it's about depending on who you are, but 5 to 6 ounces is what we go with.
Yeah.
And so in one of those boxes, there's about 5 to 6 portions.
That's awesome.
And at $14.99, you're looking at $2.50 a portion.
Oh man!
And it's literally 10 minutes. You put it in a skillet, kind of just slow cook it. I have a QR code on there that links to my website, which has 4 recipes in which you can make tacos, bowls, pretty quesadillas, whatever you'd like.
And it goes in the freezer or refrigerator?
Refrigerator.
So I'm reading the nutrition facts. It's 180 calories per serving. So you're talking about 5 or 6 ounces, which is the recommended amount usually in a protein, in a healthy diet. And it's only 7 grams of carbs, and so I'm liking what I'm reading here.
It's great.
Yeah.
Also, you can pronounce the ingredients. Sorry, Preston.
Yeah.
When you read labels and you're reading the ingredients, Jose, I'm sure you've seen this a million times, but like sometimes it's just you get bogged down in a bunch of different chemical names. Boneless, skinless chicken, guajiro puree, orange juice concentrate, like all of these things. I understand what they mean.
Great, yeah,
and I appreciate that.
Well, that's again, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to get into consumer goods, I really want it to be healthy as much as possible. There is a part of industrialization of food that kind of prevents that, but if I'm doing it, I'm really really trying to. And it's the ultra processed foods. There's a lot going on around that. I don't want to contribute to that.
We're becoming more aware of the big push is to drop back on the processing, but I think you also walk a fine line because you're known for the quality of your food, and to have that port is the big bridge to cross, correct?
That's right. And I think in the Latin space, and this brand is really meant to be enveloping Latin flavors, there hasn't been a lot of innovation. It's kind of a lot of it is ultra processed food. So
is it because it routinely doesn't hold up well, or?
I think it's just an antiquated look at how we produce food.
Okay.
Food has just evolved so much over the last 10 years, 15 years. So, and there's an awareness around like what's good for you and what's not good for you. And sadly, here in the U.S., we've kind of been behind that. In Europe, a lot of ultra processed ingredients are banned or outlawed, whereas here they're still allowed. So there's a movement towards healthier food.
All right, Jose, you're going to a Super Bowl party. Everybody brings a dish. What are you bringing?
I'm bringing probably my paella with Yucatan chicken, though, of course.
Of course, yes.
Paella is so good.
Do people ask you for tips for, parties and things like that, especially for Super Bowl?
I mean, I get asked about food pretty much. They see me like, hey, Jose, what can I cook tonight?
Right.
But no, it's. I mean, that's part of the deal, and it's certainly fun. And Super Bowl, guys, I don't know. I'm wings, burgers, ribs. I have my favorite, and I think, guys, listen. I was at the game yesterday. What an awesome game.
Yes.
Go Birds, amazing. Yeah. And I'll go to, I'm planning on, hopefully, if everything works out, going to New Orleans. And I won't be cooking. I'll be eating some gumbo and hopefully watching the Birds win the bowl.
Yes, yeah, that's sensational.
Nice. How'd you settle on the name Como Como for the product?
So it's a fun name. So Como Como literally means eat, eat. but in like Spanish culture language, it also means like, hey, what'd you say? What'd you say? And so kind of in a way that like if you know it, you're like, oh, like it kind of throws you off. So there's a little like it's more like, okay, I'm not gonna drop that bomb, but like, what the did you say?
What the F did you say?
Oh, like you talking to me?
Yeah,
That
you're
kind
talking to me. You talk. Hey, like what? You know what's going on? Yeah.
So for those who get it, they get it.
They get it.
I got it.
And then the other, the literal translation is just eat, and we're working on sauce marinades, which will be pretty cool. It's a marinade that also doubles as a sauce. So we're working
awesome.
with our co-packer. Yeah. So
I'm all over that if you get that in.
As a cuisine, it's so. I mean, it's so fantastic. And then the fact is, though, you don't see at the store quality, coming through, in the freezer section or whatever, the refrigerator section. This is going to take care of a lot of that.
I think that you'll see that evolve, Steve, over time.
Yeah.
I think that, like, again, people are consuming food in such different ways. There's obviously restaurants, there's quick serve, fast casual, but I'm also on a platform called Cook Unity, which is a meal-based subscription. And pretty cool. You can you order your meals, they come to you in a cooler bag and ice, they're ready to eat. And yeah, again, I think if I can continue to, I feel so blessed, guys, at this age to keep innovating and creating food. It's a great.
No, it's great.
I love the fact that you're going to come out with a line of sauces and marinades because I cook almost every night. My wife and I both cook, but a lot of times she's busy and I end up doing it. And I love to cook, but I do run out of ideas pretty regularly. And I can cook by recipe. But we generally have a protein. And then some kind of roasted vegetables or something along those lines. But I've found what makes the dish more interesting every single time is the right sauce or marinade to go with your protein, whether it's fish or chicken or beef. And so you come up with that, and that's going to open up a whole wonderful world for me.
Yeah, Steve, I think that as home cooks, we become creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you get into a routine where it's like maybe the same 5 or 6 staples you're cooking all the
Exactly.
time. So we, even as chefs, we are always looking for inspiration. And so if these sauce marinades can do it for you, I'm excited.
I want to. So we're looking at the cover art of the box, and now you had Drew Carey pose for the picture here.
Hey, I actually thought, everyone's like, it's funny you said that, Steve. I was in the store and they were like, hey, you look better live than your image in
Yes,
person.
you're this styling guy, and I'm like, well, they need to readjust that.
I think it looks.
Well,
I think
no, it
it's
looks
good. I
fine.
think it's a good
Just-
representation.
Just draw a little goatee on him
He's got
now.
a little badassery going on.
It's my chef look. It's the like stern chef look.
Okay.
Here, I just drew a little
Now,
goatee.
there you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, yeah.
There it is.
Green,
There
but,
it is.
I mean, that's for the Eagles. But so, what's the latest with the Garces Foundation? Anything you want to mention about that?
Oh yeah, guys, it's a crazy time right now. So we support the immigrant community. We provide services, healthcare, education, and we're going to continue to do our services despite whatever's happening out there publicly.
Yeah.
And we'll host an event this spring. I don't think we've actually finalized a date. And keep it on.
Trying to make the world a better place.
Just trying to, we're helping our community best we can.
You always have a lot going on. There's always something that you have to talk about, whether it's a farm to table service that you're a part of. Are you still doing that? Or
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I actually have exciting strategic partnership that happened this year. I partnered with a company that's growing our brands, Amada and Village Whiskey, and other ideas that I have. So we have an Amada going to Chicago. Village Whiskey going to Dallas.
Excellent.
And so it's it has plenty to do, and
Well, I wanted to ask you about Amada because I love the one in the city, and within the last year or so, one opened up in Radnor, which I don't live too far away from. When you make a move like that, what's the risk involved? Like, it's an established restaurant that's done really well in Philadelphia for a long time, and then the risk is moving to or opening a branch in the suburbs. Is that something where you have to be like, I don't know, or do you just take the plunge, or what?
Yeah, guys, our business is really is about location. It has everything to do with density, walking traffic. There's so many good analytics and data around helping you make that location site. So it's very risky, no matter what. But we liked for Amada, we liked coming out to the burbs. I'd been asked to come out for some time. I think there was some apprehension about folks going into the city with crime and whatnot. So we were like, okay, we'll bring it to you. And so, yeah, it's a nice extension. It's been great to be out in Radnor. And it's, again, all of this has been so much fun.
That's great. For you, man. Amada, Village Whiskey, and now Como.
Yeah.
And you can get this now at Costco.
Go get it at Costco, guys. Yeah.
Please.
Rack it up.
Support Jose. I mean, it's great food.
I can't wait to try it.
And I love the fact that your flavors are now going to be this easy to pick up and make at your convenience at home.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
You got it. We love you. Jose Garces on the Preston and Steve Show. We're going to take a quick break. Come back in a second. Bizarre File Stories on the way.
Preston and Steve.
Cookie.
Oh.
Man.
I used to be brownie, but I feel like now I would do a cookie.
Okay.
I'd do a cookie.
If I saw them sitting out, I would go for a brownie anytime.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
I think I might go brownie.
Wow. Okay.
Because I do the chocolate chip cookie is my favorite. However, a well-made brownie. Also there's a company that actually of the companies that do mail order brownies. Fairy Tale Brownies is a great company. If you've ever used them, they have their top level brownies. But yeah, that's neck and neck. Brownies are sensational.
Brownie or cupcake?
Brownie.
Yeah, I'd go with brownie. For your cupcake?
Cupcake.
Okay.
The thing with the brownies, though, I feel like, and I don't know if it's like as I age, my sense of taste gets even more sensitive. I don't know. But like, I feel like if it's not super well made, I can taste like the mix.
Really?
Instead of, yeah.
See, after you get a hysterectomy, that goes away.
Stop. I hate you.
I remember seeing the history of brownies and why they were created. And it was, I forgot the name of the place, but it was so that people could, I think, take them to the beach or something like that.
Seriously?
And so the brownie has a thicker consistency than a piece of cake. Like the cake would be too crumbly and fall apart.
It's more cohesive.
And yeah, so there's a little more goo to it. In case if you want to have some of that.
Goo.
It's I need that sound clip from Billy Madison. Yeah, when he notices a kid peed his pants.
The thing about a brownie for me is that the cookie is a little more pedestrian, right? Like a cookie is sort of an everyday dessert, whereas the brownie is...
All right, fancy boy.
Right? Yeah, I feel like a little bit of a fancy boy.
You're too good for
Like it's
Billy.
special?
A fancy Nancy, if you will. When a brownie shows up, I'm like, look at that little treat.
Look at Nick with his little waistcoat.
Thank you.
No, I understand that. I think though that they're easy to make. Brownies,
right?
Brownies are easy to make. Brownies are super easy to make. They're just as easy as cookies. I'm standing firm on this. Cookies are far superior than brownies. Far superior.
Oh,
and there's a reason why there's more of them, and it's more because they're better. They're just better. And it's not to say that brownies aren't good. They're good. They're just not as good as cookies.
I think they need more of them to make up for the fact that they're not as good as brownies. They say, hey, we have diluted the market with this product, and we're going to try to catch up to the brownie people.
I think the tough part about, and the reason there are more cookies is because, and if you're talking like when you go to the grocery store, cookies are more rigid. They're easier to package. You can put more of them together.
Yes.
Brownies can kind of... there's a shelf life on them. Some cookies can last for a while.
Brownies don't have that luxury.
No.
And even if you do the brownie bites, which I think are sensational, brownie bites do have that preservative taste to them.
Let me ask you a question. Why do brownies have to be as thick as they are? You can kind of cut them in half first, right? Before you cut them into their little squares and stuff like that. You could essentially cut the tops and the bottoms
like a piece of brownie cake. Yeah. You can do whatever you want with your damn brownie.
Yeah. I don't know. Make thinner brownies.
Yeah.
At your home when you make them.
Yeah, our brownies are usually pretty thin anyway.
Yeah, okay. You okay? You all right?
I'm fine.
Everything good?
You guys, Steve.
What?
You cut me deep here, man.
How did I cut you deep?
Because you went with brownies over cookies, and I thought I knew
he
you.
feels betrayed.
I thought I knew.
I love chocolate chip cookies, but if I have if there is listen, they're right neck and neck, but I do love a damn good brownie. But chocolate chip, they're
it's like Godfather 1 or 2, Steve.
Yeah, it changes from time.
Goes from time to time. You lean one way or the other.
All right. Goo!
All right.
There it is.
Now he's got it.
I got it.
There's more goo in a brownie. All right. By the way, Steve, this list of brownie places, where did you? What's the
I was
source?
in the Inquirer.
The Inquirer.
Yeah.
Okay. So
The
you can
Inky.
You can go on and find a list of great brownies, if you will, if you check the Inquirer's website. All right. What?
What?
Okay.
Oh,
let me
no.
go to Mario. I was going to wrap up there. Hey, Mario. Good morning.
He put on his glasses. He can't see without.
Exactly.
What's up, dude? Casey wanted me to talk to you.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Hey, cookies are way far superior than brownies. You can eat so many more of them. There's different kinds of textures. There's only so many things you can put in a brownie.
You don't need to. It's perfect.
I'll tell you what the deal is, Mario. It's when you see a plate of freshly made brownies and freshly made cookies, you know you're more likely to encounter freshly made chocolate chip cookies. At least I am. But a brownie is like, oh, we don't get brownies a lot. I'm going to go for that first.
Look what showed up.
Right.
Yeah.
I will
there we
agree
go.
with that. I will agree that it will be like a special little treat. But I will also say that if there's a freshly made plate of cookies or brownies in front of me, I'm going for them cookies first.
So I'm going for the brownies because I don't know when I'll get another shot at those brownies.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Carpe diem, man.
Carpe diem.
I appreciate you coming to the phone call. I just want to say I'm a cookie lover.
All right, Mario.
I mean, you can enhance a
You're not
brownie
wrong.
by putting a cookie in it. You can enhance a cookie by putting a brownie in it.
No, you absolutely can.
No.
I've had brownie cookies.
Yeah.
I don't even
no,
know
you've
what
had
that
cookie
means.
brownies.
Putting a brownie in a cookie?
Yeah, you don't do that.
But what? I've never heard of putting a cookie in a brownie.
You've never heard of a blondie, bro?
No. Well, you know what? I have heard of a blondie. I just didn't know what that was.
It's cookie brownie.
Okay. It's good. It's cookie brownie. A man who purchased Gwyneth Paltrow's viral "This Smells Like My Vagina" candle from Goop says it exploded, and he's filing a class action lawsuit.
Candles do sometimes explode. You've had stories about that, right? Have you ever had one explode, Kathy? Or at least I had one like pop and melt immediately.
Oh, okay. So no, like I've seen you. No, I don't burn candles in my house. But I've seen it burn all the way to the bottom, and like there's just a little bit. It's just liquid at that point, and then it shatters the glass.
Okay. Well, this splattered vagina all over the walls.
Vagina quite to the morning mass. This vagina falling, crashing, vagina falling to the ground.
Oh, they had a reporter on the scene.
Vagina catastrophes I've ever seen. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I can't compose myself. There's vagina everywhere. People trapped into huge labia. It's disgusting and a mess. It looks like deli meat strewn across the field here in Vegas, New Jersey.
Hair all over the place, and
There we go. My effects. There we go, sir. I get it. My effects. I'm so distraught.
You've been pulled into a time continuum.
I don't know what's. Oh my God.
Wouldn't it be great if field reporters did have a battery of effects?
We should encourage that.
Sad time here out on the street.
Yeah. So according to legal documents obtained by the site,
And the vagina's not quite to the morning mast. Oh my God, it exploded. It's burning. It's crashing, falling to the ground, falling. People jumping out. They're actually climbing down pubic hair to get down to the ground.
How big is this?
this is the largest one in the world at that time.
And, the majestic vagina coming over the New York skyline.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God!
It's burst into flames.
Oh my God, it burst into flames. Huge vagina on fire over magnificently falling, crashing to the ground. People jumping out, hanging off the pubic hair. Somebody is jumping. Oh, fortunately, a piece of the labia is falling down and slipping as a mat as people jump down. They're falling onto the mat.
There's one large rope hanging out of it, actually. Yeah.
So thankfully, a matted pubic hair is slipping as a rope ladder for those trying to escape the fire.
Oh, my God. All right, so Colby Watson says he purchased the 10.5 ounce vagina candle online in January. He claims he lit the candle for the first.
Is it possible that he lit the wrong side? That he lit the butt side?
I don't know. Then the first time, turn it around.
Oh, yeah.
It's an old joke, right?
Yeah, well, the methane is back there.
He claims he lit the candle for the first time the next month. All right, so I've seen a new ad on social media for this erectile dysfunction.
The one that delivers to your home?
It's like it's you put it on your unit.
No.
Have you seen this thing?
What are you taping a pencil to your dong?
No, dude, not a pencil. It looks like almost like this horseshoe shaped thing that comes almost to a close at the end. I have not really watched the commercial, but it appears to be like a C-ring that you put on.
When you said that, that's what I was thinking.
Right?
Yeah. So that the way strippers at like Chippendales will puff themselves up with
Right, and then tie it off
close
essentially.
Yeah.
So I think that's what this is. If
I'm Wilford Brimley for the Wilford Brimley C-ring.
No matter what size the good Lord gave you, the C-ring is adaptable.
If anybody,
If you order right now, we'll throw in a bamboo steamer.
if anyone has seen this and has watched the ad and wants to comment or bring me up to speed on that, please give us a call, 215-263-WMMR, because...
Did you hear that Jerry died? I'm so sorry. What happened? He was trying some sort of new C-ring and he hemorrhaged.
Nick is pulling
Is this it?
No, that's not it.
No.
That looks like one of those things you throw against the wall and crawls down. What do they call those things?
The creepy crawlies? Wall crawl?
It's got little...
Wally crawlies?
It's Steve, it looks like it's got
Is that a C-ring for
French
that?
ticklers on it.
In case you're banging against the wall?
No, it was really weird.
I don't doubt it.
And
I've
then
seen
I'm
a lot
like,
of...
why are you targeting me with this? Why is this advertising heading to me? What's that all about?
Well, it's like when your mail from the local like funeral parlors and cemeteries is addressed to you by name.
Here it is, Nick.
Eddie?
Eddie.
ED has become Eddie.
I get it.
Meet Eddie, the wearable device aiming to optimize, your situation. So see what I mean? That it's shaped kind of like a horseshoe?
Yeah.
And I guess
I'd like to play horseshoes with that.
I guess you're supposed to get yourself excited and then strap that thing on. I have no idea.
So you're tying off so that you're...
That's what it seems like to me, Steve.
That's what a C-ring's purpose is.
Does it?
It's not to get engaged.
Here you go. I'll read the information. Eddie is the first of its kind wearable FDA Class II erectile dysfunction device. Manufacturer Giddy maintains that its unique ergonomic design improves upon current devices by working with the natural physiology of a unit where it's so funny.
You have to paraphrase.
It's so funny I can't say erection.
Yeah.
Where rings and constriction devices can actually work against it.
I swear by it, says B. Arthur.
It says here, Chloe Kent takes a closer look at how Eddie works and asks if it's truly an improvement upon the market's current state of affairs.
Preston, $298 for a 2-pack on Amazon.
What? Seriously?
No.
Look, $298 for a 2-pack. 2-pack.
Medicals.
Maybe they should get into it.
How do they charge you so much?
Eddie by Giddy.
Yeah.
Device for dysfunction proven effective. No pills, comfortable design, medical grade construction. Well, you need that.
All right.
Is it? All right, hang on.
You have to nail it on.
Well, no. Is it a one-time use only, or
That's what I don't know.
No.
It's $298. There's no way, dude.
Does it say washable anywhere?
That has to be if you've multiple use. That's the kind of thing you can go halvesies on, Nick.
From the Red Hot Chili Peppers, please welcome Mr. Chad Smith.
Yeah.
To the show. Good morning, Chad. There we go.
Yeah, just people in there just hired just to clap loudly.
That's what I do.
That's it. Yeah.
That's us. Yeah.
Gotta have
that's my
clappers, man.
gig.
Yep.
How do I get that gig?
Hey, Chad, I wanted to ask you, man. So Stone Harbor is where this is going to be. There have been sightings of you at the Jersey Shore before. No? What do you mean no?
I've never been to the. Tell me about the sightings. This sounds good.
Are you serious? We have heard there's somebody that looks like
It
you,
has to be.
that people have sworn up and down that Chad Smith haunts.
Well, we all know who that is now, don't we?
Will Ferrell out there?
Some other dude, some other really good-looking guys out there too.
I have not been to the infamous Jersey Shore. This is my virgin experience. So, yeah, what should I expect?
Well, it's beautiful. Stone Harbor's a gorgeous area, first of all, that you're going to be in. And it's just...
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Here we go. We'll start with this. Flight attendants have been recorded attempting to restrain and duct tape the mouth of an irate passenger who was thrashing and screaming on board a Fiji Airways flight as she traveled to the country's main island.
I swear to God, I saw Preston Elliott.
The flight landed where it was met by local law enforcement, and she was arrested. The woman was charged by police in Fiji, where she remains in custody awaiting court. The airline has confirmed the incident is now subject of a legal investigation. A fellow passenger who filmed the altercation and requested to remain anonymous said airline staff were forced to resort to restraining and taping the mouth of the woman whose comments were allegedly racist and vulgar in nature.
Would you like a snack?
The passenger behind the camera said the situation unfolded about halfway into the 11-hour flight, by the way, towards Nadi, after the woman started to raise her voice within the cabin. The woman was traveling with her husband, though they were sitting in different areas of the plane. The husband requested to be seated elsewhere when the woman started to raise her voice, and the altercation between the woman and crew started when the crew refused to tell the woman where he had been moved to. The woman caused great distress to all nearby passengers and crew by screaming and yelling abuse, as well as threatening and throwing objects such as cups at crew members. She had also slapped the hands of a flight attendant.
Don't you slap me.
In the footage, the crew can be seen trying to tape the woman's mouth shut when she refused to stop yelling abuse. The other passengers were particularly upset by her overtly racist comments towards the Fijian crew members, with many calling out the woman to be quiet and behave. The footage in it, the woman can be seen towards the back of the plane with two cabin members desperately attempting to restrain and ultimately cover her mouth with duct tape. When the flight was 2 hours away from Nadi, the husband came and sat with the woman, but this did not improve the woman's behavior. She continued to verbally assault crew members and disturb passengers. So
this makes the question again. When you're on a very long flight, is there anything in the works to have a place to put these unruly passengers that doesn't involve you taping their mouth shut?
Yeah, they need a brig.
Something like a brig.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know. We'll work on that. I think that's next in design for
We should do it.
Commercial
The
aircraft.
Preston and Steve Aeronautic Brig.
I love it. This morning is a radio television program, and viewers were left open-mouthed as a woman spread her legs for an invasive vaginal anti-aging procedure live on the show. During Thursday's installment of the ITV program, presenter Kat Deely hosted a segment about a 60-minute treatment which promises to anti-age your vagina, and welcomed a woman on the show who was willing to have the treatment. During the segment, the brave volunteer could be seen lying down in a chair with a towel protecting her modesty as Kat and Dr. Zoe Williams listen to the professional explaining how the treatment works.
You didn't have to say that twice. I didn't.
As soon as the segment hit screens, viewers flocked to express their disbelief by what they were witnessing on television.
And so the process begins.
At the end of the segment, the camera then panned back to Ben Shepard, who was awkwardly sitting at the main desk by himself as the show had to go to break. So it's called Morpheus 8V. It's a non-invasive procedure designed to rejuvenate the vagina, and it combines radio frequency technology with microneedling to significantly enhance both the function and appearance of the vaginal area.
Yeah, but your vagina looks so young.
So the shocking segment comes, and this is what I find funny. The shocking segment comes shortly after Ben and Kat were thrown into disarray after producers unexpectedly altered the show's schedule, causing confusion during the live broadcast. The program's popular feature, Spin to Win, is typically aired around that time. However, on Thursday, they decided to move it forward. So instead of Spin to Win,
oh my God,
vaginal rejuvenation.
Yep.
Hey, we're replacing a very popular segment, Spin to Win, with vaginal rejuvenation today.
What show was this?
This was in
Australia?
I think it might have been Australia, yeah.
Oh, I mean, really?
Yeah. All right, in Key West, Florida, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
Even in Key West, where some behavior is tolerated, you are going to get arrested for having sex on the sidewalk adjacent to the main road through town.
Why?
Early Tuesday morning, cops were driving on a 2-lane stretch of U.S. Route 1 when they spotted a woman bent over in front of a man who was, quote, and this is to the police report, thrusting his hips back and forth while the couple was situated in front of a pet grooming business.
You don't do that in front of a pet grooming business.
Officer Bryce Sonishan said the two subjects continued until I activated my emergency lights. In the glow of the cruiser's cherry top, William Jennett put his penis back inside his pants, he wrote, while Diane Clausen put down her dress. Clausen reportedly was disheveled with her bodysuit undone.
We saw this on an Australian news show.
Jeanette and Clausen were subsequently arrested for committing lascivious acts with another person in a public place. The duo was booked in the Monroe County Jail on misdemeanor charges and later released. While court and police records list Jennett's address as Whitehall, Michigan, he recently began a job with a Key West yacht company.
All right.
You're just the kind of person we're looking for.
Now, Clausen, who works as a server in Key West, lives in nearby Stock Island and is a licensed esthetician or facial specialist.
I'm sure he is.
That's her, actually.
Oh.
All right, and then we'll do one more and end with this. Even after police say all is clear, Utah State University students are frustrated and confused after once again being evacuated from a campus dormitory this week. Students who live in Mountain View Tower said they are also stressed for being put out of their dorms and into the cold for hours last Thursday again and again on Wednesday. So students said, we have kids standing outside in their underwear and their robes without shoes on and being told we can't go inside for 15 to 30 minutes. Police said Joshua Peter Yeager, who is no longer enrolled at the school, was found with a mixture of chemicals in the room. The school said hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, and sodium hydroxide were among the chemicals discovered. And on Wednesday, another alert signaled a second evacuation that was actually planned so campus police and law enforcement partners could investigate the room for more hazardous materials. Now, as students were displaced again, they were provided some accommodations and some food, while the university later confirmed that a small amount of uranium rock ore was found in the room and assessed by
the hell was going on in there?
The FBI and
It's
Utah.
actually just part of my rock cleaning kit.
Utah State's Environment, Health, and Safety Department. The spokesperson said that the uranium ore is generally safe in a solid form and some qualities as long as it's handled and stored properly.
I'm sure it was.
Yeager had been charged with disorderly conduct and causing a catastrophe recklessly. So,
Son, don't you know about drinking?
And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, with that, I think we're going to take another break. When we get back, we have a lesson question. We'll have trash. We'll have music news as well. I've been told Pierre's got an announcement to make when he gets in here for the crossover.
Nice.
So you'll have that to look forward to as well. So we'll take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
They handle everything.
They hairy your clothes.
And I put handle and every and made it hairy.
At these times, you need someone who cares about your clothes and harries it correctly.
I'm sorry. And I snorted too.
Middletown man pleaded guilty Monday in federal court to trafficking protected turtles. 62-year-old David Summers of Levittown struck a plea agreement with federal prosecutors and pleaded guilty to one felony count of violating the Lacey Act and agreed to forfeit nearly 3,500 diamondback terrapin hatchlings, according to the U.S. Attorney Office for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Prosecutors said Summers admitted that he falsely labeled the trafficked turtles taken from the New Jersey marsh habitat between August 2014 and October 2017. He acknowledged sending a package containing 11 of them to Canada and mislabeling the package as a book to undervalue its to underreport its value. Officials from the Environment and Climate Change Canada intercepted the package of turtles and alerted American authorities.
Today marks a major step forward in the treatment
so
of
bizarre.
care turtle.
Do you know
Dude,
where
this guy was making a ton of money.
I had no idea they were worth that much.
He made $500,000 over 3 years.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go.
It's
ship
better than
turtles.
cocaine.
Shipping turtles.
Shipping turtles.
All right, so wait,
Do
what
you
did,
have
what,
my stuff?
what did he get pinched for? Lying about it, or just
No, the
shipping it in general?
Yeah, the package. The Canadian government intercepted the package, and then they contacted the United
They're endangered.
States.
So, yes, some of these
you're not
endangered
allowed.
exotic animals can draw incredible money.
All right, so I can't go do that as a cottage industry.
No.
As long as I ship it and package it correctly.
No, you can't.
It doesn't matter. It's
It
just
doesn't
straight up
matter.
illegal. Okay.
Yes. Summer's sentencing will take place on May 15th. The 62-year-old could be sentenced to as many as 5 years behind bars, 3 years of supervised release, a $250,000 fine, and restitution to New Jersey for the value of the turtles.
Imagine you end up in a cell and the guy with you said, triple homicide. What are you in for? Turtles.
Turtles. I don't know where he's picking these things up at, but there is
Turtle City
when
in
you're
New
going,
Jersey.
All right, but when you're going into Wildwood, right?
Yeah.
like North Wildwood, because I ride my bike there all the time. They have all these turtle crossing signs, which is great.
Yes.
But there's a huge wall barrier that is in the middle of the road. And I'm like,
how do they clear that?
They don't.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't. Like, so if you clearly know that turtles are crossing here, why did you put up a wall for them to just get smashed by cars?
There's no opening in the wall?
None.
There's no sign, turtles go through here?
No, and I don't think they can read either.
That's
Case, so these turtles are protected under New Jersey law and by an international treaty. They are not found in the wild in Pennsylvania, but where Summers resided, but they have a dwindling habitat range in neighboring New Jersey. So there are some in New Jersey, but it's completely illegal. And this guy apparently he worked for numerous Republican candidates in Bucks County in recent years and was previously a reporter. He previously covered news for the Trentonian, Bucks County Courier-Times, and the News Network, and also wrote for LevittownNow.com between 2013 and 2014.
Not another turtle story, please.
Seriously.
I like turtles. Love them. That's that little kid grew up to be.
That's him.
Oh my God, it's him.
I love turtles. All that comes across my desk are goddamn turtle stories.
I'm telling you for years.
Couldn't you see the signs?
You interviewed me when I was a kid.
It was a cry for help. I was dressed as a zombie, and I said I love turtles. Why was no one listening?
Looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right, you're a great zombie. And
Oh my God. It's him. It's him later on in life. I love it.
It never stops.
But because my sons have been to dances, but without a date, and it's not odd. Like when I was in middle school, if you went by yourself, unless it was a dance where it's known, everybody just show up and we'll be at the school and we're having a party.
Right.
But for the most part, everybody went with a date.
Yeah, and you got, I mean, at least for me, you would get asked to go to the dance.
Your teacher would pick you up.
Stop it!
You ready to go, baby?
I hate you.
Hey, look, I put some Tinker Toys in the back. Keep you occupied.
Let's go to Maureen. Hello, Maureen.
Our last song at our 8th grade dances was always Nights in White Satin.
Nights in White Satin? You have a bunch of eight.
Yeah, I'm
how
old.
old are you?
Breathe deep the gathering gloom.
Right.
Watch lights fade from every room.
Maureen, what did you do in the poetic portion of that song?
Bathroom break.
Sway back and forth.
They'd start crying.
Maureen, did you kiss anybody that night?
That's so long ago, I don't even remember.
All right. Well, thanks for your call. That means no. Appreciate it.
We did like the, the butt hold.
Oh my God!
The butt hold. Like if you were dating.
What did you do?
You said the butthole.
Butt hold.
Oh my God!
We would do the butthole. Do the butthole.
Everybody, now it's time to do the stuff with your butts.
You guys.
We're talking about backside stuff.
Casey nearly spit out all this.
I don't understand why you
In the
jumped up.
punch bowls, we have a whole bunch of lubricant. This should make it easier.
Kathy, do we have the hustle anywhere?
Yes.
Do the butthole.
Hold. I said hold.
Not what it sounded like.
Butt hold.
One more butt.
You guys were advanced.
We did.
Butts in White Satin.
Do the butthole.
Oh my
And the youngsters are really enjoying their buttholes.
Do the butthole. Do the butthole. Okay, so you do the butthole.
I mean, never mind at this point.
Oh.
No, yes, if you were dating the guy you were dancing with, the guy would put his hands
to do the butthole now.
to the butthole.
And who's up for some old-fashioned finger blasting?
So wait a minute. Explain to me what the butthole is.
It's your
Yes,
Hang on, I
the
wanna
hands
hear
would
her.
be, instead of on the waist, they would just slide down a little bit and hold the girl's butt.
Grab the butt. Okay.
Were you constantly under the watchful eye of a proctor or somebody who was?
There was always teachers there, but I don't think it was as
They
strict.
couldn't see everything, right?
It wasn't as strict as the nuns watching at those dances.
Well,
No, seriously.
But that's why the St. Kevin's dances were so great, because they were so crowded that, like, all right, you can't.
I'm too tired to worry about your butthole.
The butthole.
You said the butthole. Somebody had sent me a listing for a home that's on sale in Maple Glen.
All the realtors are posting it on there.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 48 photos, and if you get to photo 31, you have to stop and go, wait a minute.
What is that?
What is that? So it's a beautiful home, by the way.
Beautiful.
And
What's
for
the style?
a decent price, too. It's 5,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeously laid out. It's
Yeah.
$750,000 for a home that looks like this. That seems like a pretty good price to me.
It actually does seem like a really good price.
Yeah.
But when you get to photo number 31, you realize that they have a bit of an S&M dungeon in their house.
But it's in like a beautifully
Decorated
it's almost like an executive dungeon.
But I mean, it's decorated that way. Like it's not just little things maybe in a box somewhere. No,
No.
they had things built in their basement.
Yes, and in fact, if you look at the bed, there are Lehu Zahir on 93.3 WMMR. Everything rocks 4 minutes after 10 a.m. And as I've said earlier, nice mild day today. Sunshine, 42 degrees. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 43 degrees. Some clouds on Wednesday, but we will bump up to 51. Thursday, calling for about 41 degrees, and then Friday's going to be upper 40s. So, goodbye to the high temperatures of low 30s, high 20s, stuff like that, at least for the time being. That was a snap,
The
man.
permafrost. Yeah, I want it to dry up. I still have, Christmas decorations outside. I want them to dry off, and I want to be able to pull them out of the ground.
Yep. Hey, something you can do today with the Eagles' win last night. There is an event that's taking place throughout today, and it's called a bird call.
Huh.
All right, so this is a chance for people to leave messages for the Eagles via vintage rotary phones.
All right.
At 5 key locations around town today.
That's pretty cool.
So today and tomorrow, I believe. So at Dilworth Park, 10:30 to 2:30 today. Just look around for the thing that you go, what the hell is that? Oh, that's a phone. Mayfair Diner today from 11:30 to 3:30. Pat's will be 10:30 to 2:30 at Temple's Student Center. They will have one of the phones there from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then at Penn's Campus Bookstore, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., they will have your chance to come
7 days.
and use this. Wait, where's that from?
The Ring.
Oh, The Ring. Wow. And then fans cross country can participate. There's a phone number where you can call if you don't want to go use one of these vintage phones. The number is 267-352-4496.
We should set up our own bird line. Right?
Okay.
Wait, so I got you call the number and you
Yep.
get. There you go.
I like that.
That's it. So again, the number is 267-352-4496.
I love this.
And that's anytime leading up to the big game. A roving phone will also be traveling through Center City with a video crew as well. Visitors and residents should keep an eye out for a chance to make a bird call with that. So that is today and tomorrow. So watch out for that wherever you may be, my friend. We are going to ask a lesson question. Today we give away tickets for the Barbecue.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what it says here. A pair of tickets to the Barbecue. And that is on May 10th. All right. So the question that we will ask you is from pretty early this morning, about 7:40. What news anchor had a surprise cameo in Rocky Horror Picture Show? 215-263 WMMR. And it wasn't Barry. No, it was Barry Bostwick.
Not Barry Bostwick.
That's not who we're looking
Yeah.
for. What news anchor had a surprise cameo in Rocky Horror Picture Show? You had to be an early morning listener in order to know the answer to that one. And if you do, call now.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All righty, let's get the stories from Steve Morrison. What's up, Steve?
Well, as you said earlier, Preston, Jennifer Lopez touring Brentwood doing some post-Ben Affleck house hunting. Lopez, has told realtors she's looking for something preferably in the $20 million range and not on fire.
Oh, my God.
Jordana Brewster saying she believes Fast and the Furious 11 will be the final movie in the series. Brewster says Vin Diesel has always had a story to tell and decided to tell it 11 times. And finally, Sirhan, the man who assassinated RFK, saying he's eager to see what is in the government's classified files about the event. Sirhan says he's always been fascinated with the RFK assassination ever since he assassinated RFK. That's why we try.
All right, to the phones we go to get an answer. What news anchor had a surprise cameo in Rocky Horror Picture Show? 215-263 WMMR, our number. We will go to David to try to get the answer. Hey, David, good morning, buddy.
Hey there.
All right, David, what news anchor had a surprise cameo in Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Dan Rather.
Dan Rather is correct, yes. Hang on, buddy. We're going to set you up. We have... Sorry, I'm jotting down a note at the same time before I forget something right now. All right.
Okay.
We're going to set you up with a pair of tickets to the Barbecue, sir. And that, of course, is going to be Saturday, May 10th, Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Lawn tickets start at just $25, and first half of the show is all admission. It's general admission, so you can get up as close as you would like to for the first 4 bands, and there's 8 bands total. Alice in Chains, 3 Days Grace, the Preston and Steve Show. Side stage tickets are on sale now, and all the information is available at WMMR.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Yeah. All right, I got a couple of things to run by you. We will start with this one. The legal drama surrounding Marilyn Manson is done. Newly elected Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman, said on Monday that the allegation, and I thought that there were some incidents of sexual assault that were
like child molestation.
Yeah, that were kind of evergreen.
It does. So just a quick search. Like it varies from state to state.